Two-time Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzi and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
It's fully loaded, great gas mileage, 30,000-mile warranty.
I like it. What else do you have?
Here's one. It's fully loaded, great gas mileage, 30,000-mile warranty.
Looks like the same car.
Exactly the same. But this one's $120 less per month.
What's the catch?
No catch if you use Credit Union of Texas. Let me show you.
With the Credit Union of Texas Flex Auto Loan, you get the car of your dreams. Lower payments, no hassle. Get started now at cutx.org.
Crowley Funeral Home has been serving families in Gilmer since 1883. Funeral director and Gilmer High School graduate Troy Murray leads the professional staff at Crowley Funeral Home and is committed to providing dignified, respectful, and compassionate assistance to every family in their time of need. Crowley Funeral Home feels strongly about maintaining high standards of excellent service while still keeping prices affordable. At Crowley Funeral Home, we treat your family as our own.
There's something special about a local hometown bank. The pace is a little slower, the smile's a little brighter, and the relationship is, well, personal. Visit us in Gilmer or our new bank in Longview on the corner of 1844 and Judson Road. For over 120 years, Gilmer National Bank has been building relationships, one customer at a time. Come see us for all your personal, commercial, and agricultural needs, because we want to hear you say,
Gilmer National Bank. That's my bank.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
At Farmers Insurance, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a rock and wreck. Yeah! He rocked and rolled right into it, but we covered it. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers, bum, 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 bum.
When tragedy strikes, you don't want to be in a position where you're second guessing your lawyer's ability or the resolve to get you fairly compensated. When you hire Godarzi & Young, you know you're hiring a law firm that has nationally ranked settlements and verdicts. We have over 2 decades of experience holding 18-wheeler companies accountable for their negligent action. Don't make the mistake of hiring anybody else. Hire the best. Hire Godarzi & Young.
Do you enjoy watching your favorite TV programs on your smartphone or tablet? Or maybe you'd rather watch them on your Roku or Amazon Fire TV. Tired of having to change your TV input from your old traditional cable to watch your favorite streaming apps? If so, we have great news for you. eTex is making the move to streaming and has launched a new app. eTex TV allows you to watch over 130 channels in Full HD on your streaming or mobile devices. This means you can simply download the eTex TV app, subscribe, and start watching. With all your favorite functions like DVR and Pause Live TV, and new features like Restart TV. To learn more, visit www.etex.net or contact a customer service rep at 903-797-HELP. That's 903-797-4357.
Texas Heritage National Bank would like to invite the Buckeye Nation to visit our new full-service bank in Gilmer. We are conveniently located on Highway 271 and Redbud Street with a brand new facility ready to serve our friends and neighbors. We offer competitive rates on all of our deposit products, as well as some great options for business financing to help your business grow from 5 employees to 500 employees. Texas Heritage National Bank would also like to take this time to thank all of the teachers, administration, and school board for investing in the future of our kiddos. We would also like to wish all of the student athletes a wonderful and safe year. Come see us soon.
It's gonna be alright. How can you tell? I feel it in my heart. It's gonna be okay.
Lucy's Burgers, serving you for over 40 years.
At First National Bank, together we're better. We're a regional bank, big enough for all of East Texas, that cares and is invested in the people and communities we serve, with the strength and services to meet the needs of every customer, big or small. From business financing for big companies and small mom and pops to our family of personal banking customers. First National Bank of East Texas. Together, we're better. And we think that's kind of a big deal.
Please join Jeff Rash and Alan Metzel each Monday morning for the Gilmer Buckeyes Coaches Show. Every week, Jeff and Alan discuss elements of the program, speak with special guests, give player updates, review key plays from the prior week, and give insights on the opponent for the current week. As a fan, this is your chance to go into the locker room and behind the scenes. To view the Coaches Show, go to GilmerBuckeyes.com and click on the Coaches Show button. Go Buckeyes!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Jeff Traylor Stadium and the opening game of the 2023 season. I'm Todd Robinson, joined tonight by the voice of the Buckeyes, Mr. Jeff Rash. And Jeff, we have got the game of the week to kick things off. We do not wait to get it cranked up. Here in the dog days of summer, the Buckeyes are squaring off against probably one of the top 2 to 3 teams in the state. Number 13, Jeremiah Noble, and number 11, Caden Tennyson at the quarterback position that are all juniors. They've really had to step up the last 2 weeks against outstanding competition, probably as good as they're going to see into December, into the playoffs, and managed to win last week. Now they're getting Eric back.
Hand off to Henderson, left side, got some room in the end zone. 2 plays, and the Buckeyes score.
Well, you got to right now be thinking that the guys in white are rolling their eyes and saying, oh my gosh, here we go.
Up the middle, got a gas, touchdown.
Touchdown, Buckeyes. They answer back. How about that?
While you still trying, I'm still shining, it's real blinding. And I'm getting out of tune, talking top 2, I'm not a 2. You let the pressure bother you, and I do what I gotta do. Let's go home.
Handoff, right side. Look at this big gap, and he's gonna score. Untouched, Will Henderson. Finding gaps, finding things. Buckeyes doing a great job of blocking downfield. And now we come dropping back inside to number 3 to Eric Tate. Down to the 5, first and goal from the 5.
The coldest of teams, they know we pray, don't try it. They know in between, we go for these dreams in silence. Hard work, don't mistake it for magic. We've been shooting in the gym, this is target in practice, yeah. And I'm just getting started, get my feet wet. It's all in repetition, ain't a secret. All facts, up black dress code. Pay me my respect.
Well, that was a keeper, and they just slammed him with the turf. The right side gets a good block. Headed to the end zone, scores. Dropping back, launching one. Wide open, touchdown.
That's number 13, Jeremiah Noble.
Perfectly thrown ball.
Yeah, if he throws that pass to Eric,
they're going to dump it to Henderson. Out of the backfield, everybody picks up their blocks. And over the middle, and no flags.
Touchdown
Buckeyes. And now it's a tie game again. But here's the situation. We talked about this earlier. You got 6 minutes and 20 seconds left. And he launches one downfield wide open.
That's to Eric Tate.
And to Eric Tate wisely, he cuts upfield and finds his 5 yards plus. Battles his way all the way down to the 1.
He is a stud.
That's a great run right there.
All the Buckeyes can do with that kind of weapons on offense, and it comes down to this: well-executed drive. Right. Let's say that.
This is for the win with 0 seconds left, or we go to overtime. Even closer.
25 yards, not 30. Kick is up. And it's good again. Buckeyes win.
0 seconds on the clock. Buckeyes take the win. And Mom, I'm sorry you weren't here to see it. All of you Buckeye fans that leave, never, ever leave a Buckeye game, even if they're down. This was the best comeback I have seen in years. What a game.
What a catch. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Prosper Independent School District, where your Gilmer Buckeyes are taking on the Glen Rose Tigers in the Final Four. That's right, folks. It is the state semifinal contest here. Once again, the Buckeyes, 3 out of the last 4 years now. The Buckeyes, 2 of them here, right here, Jeff, is the Buckeyes defeated 2 years ago the Salina Bobcats from 6 miles up the road here from where we're sitting. And Prosper has been very good to these Buckeyes. We are 2-0 in the playoffs already. Glen Rose is a small town, just like Gilmer, with a lot of great tradition. Their coaching staff, they're one of the best coaches probably in the entire game of football now. A guy by the name of Dan Campbell, who was a Dallas Cowboy. He was a Texas Aggie before that, is from Glen Rose, Texas. Glen Rose was right here last year, or over in the Star, taking on the Carthage Bulldogs
and gave them all they wanted
in their loss. And these young guys from Glen Rose, only 9 seniors, Jeff. They graduated 19 last year.
Yeah.
They've stepped up into these big shoes. They start 1-4, a lot like the Buckeyes, but they come into tonight's game really on a roll. They have questionably played a lesser brand of talent than the Buckeyes have, but they've sure rolled through their schedule, and all you can do is win the ones in front of you.
Well, that's exactly right. And first of all, they're going to be red and white tonight, where the Buckeyes are, obviously for those that are not from Gilmer that are watching the broadcast, will be in the black and orange. And they are the Tigers, we're the Buckeyes. I just think it's a real miss that we should point out that they should be the dinosaurs. I've always thought that about Glen Rose. Tigers don't make sense. They've got the dinosaur park in Glen Rose.
They do.
Great town, by the way. I had a lot of
Wonderful.
friends in Glen Rose, used to hang out there a lot. Wonderful people. Their town is a lot like ours. You're sitting at their Sonic, you think you're sitting at ours. And it's a great community with a rich football tradition. Like you said last year, these guys nearly took it to state. They just barely, Carthage barely got by them.
Down to a few plays, as we got by Carthage, just down to a few plays last week in the big overtime victory for the Buckeyes. Tonight's contest going to be a little bit different in terms of, we always talk about when it comes down to this level, down to the Final Four.
Yeah.
You got 90-plus teams in Division 4A, Division 2 that start the year in August. We're down to 4. And the cool thing to me is that when you look at Gilmer, Wimberley, Glen Rose, all really small towns.
Yeah.
A lot of talk this week about saying, nobody expected for Gilmer and Glen Rose to be in this game. I beg to differ. Gilmer expected to be here.
Yeah.
Glen Rose expected to be here.
Gilmer's coaching staff expected to be
Absolutely.
here.
And that's one of the reasons why we scheduled who we scheduled. And let's go ahead and talk about that. Our first game of the year was a loss to Chapel Hill. They're playing Division I state finals tonight.
They're still in it.
They're still in it.
And the other loss is to the team they beat last week. Who was playing in December. Yeah.
So
and that game could have went really either way.
Method to the madness there as Beast Texas lives up to its reputation. I don't know. Glen Rose suits out 35 on their varsity. They've got 9 seniors. A little bit different in the way that they do things out in West Texas football-wise than East Texas. We're going to see that contrast of styles here tonight, Jeff.
Yeah, they like to throw the ball. I think they throw the ball about 75% of the time. We were talking about earlier. Normally, little short passes, little out routes, little crossing routes. And so the Buckeyes' defensive scheme is taking that into account. Of course, when you get to this level of game, they got great coaching staffs. They know the Buckeyes have been watching film. They may change it up a little bit. They may go a little deeper tonight. We may see a different set. I expect to, in fact, defensively. But the problem is with that is the Buckeyes have weapons both in the backfield and at the wideout position.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that's advantaged Gilmer tonight. It's just speed. When you talk about Will Henderson, let's be honest, folks. You can count on one hand guys that can run with him on the planet that are 18 years old.
Well, he's the second fastest registered kid in the state of Texas, and I think he's in the top 10 in the nation. So you're talking about world-class speed in the backfield for the Buckeyes. By the way, our quarterback, Caden Tennyson, who's been running the ball a lot more in these last few games, is no slouch. He probably runs a 10-9 himself. And then at the wideout position, a plethora of talent. You've got Tarek Tate, runs about a 10-5. He was on that state champion relay team earlier this year in the spring where the Buckeyes took first place at the state track meet, Division 2 4A. And then you got Jeremiah Noble, who's just had an incredible year this year.
Brendan Webb.
You got Brendan Webb, who just, if you haven't seen it on Facebook, the picture of him catching that ball last week in double coverage, he has come on ever since Kilgore. He's just gotten better and better.
Smith.
Smith backing up Henderson in the backfield and got lots of speed. He's probably a 10-9 guy. So yeah, this team has never seen. And by the way, they're picked 3-point favorites by Pigskin Prep. I don't know who you got to beat in this state to get some respect, but Gilmer is an actual 3-point underdog in this game tonight.
I'll take that because, Jeff, several years ago here when we played the Graham Steers, we were underdogs.
Yeah.
Came out with a trip to AT&T Stadium. Several years ago, we were underdogs to Salina. Came out with a trip to AT&T Stadium. If we were favored in this game, I'd really be worried.
Yeah, this is like our 11th time to be here in this round of the playoffs. Gilmer has been picked as underdog many times, but they've won 80% of the Game 5 round games. So statistically, both in this stadium and statistically, the Buckeyes have done very well when getting this far into the playoffs. Of course, this is the third time in 4 years that we've been this deep in the playoffs, round 5, as the Buckeyes went 2 of the last 3 years to the state championship, ultimately losing at state. And Allen is itching for a ring.
Yeah,
that coaching staff is
there's some unfinished business.
There's some unfinished business.
And don't forget, Jeff, and I think it's key to understand here. There's this household in Gilmer called the Tennyson family, and when Big Brother BT, who is now at UTSA as a quarterback, was a candidate for Mr. Texas football, went to 2 state championships. Caden, who was a freshman on the team and played 2 years ago at the state championship, there is some hunger to try to get it done and take care of business. And the quarterback named Tennyson will have 5 straight years of Tennyson quarterbacks that wear number 11, Big Brother and Little Brother. Little Brother has got something on his mind coming into this week. I think it will be interesting because of how well progression-wise he has played week to week to week. You remember the concussion that he suffered in the Pleasant Grove game in the first quarter, which kind of was wheels off for our offense after that. Yeah. Pleasant Grove played fantastic, and another one of the absolute top 5 teams in the state happened to be in our district.
Yeah.
Gilmer was not the district champion this year.
Pleasant Grove was.
And let me tell you, Pleasant Grove had every opportunity to beat Carthage the week before we took advantage of the opportunity to beat Carthage. And Carthage has only won 8 out of 10 state champions. Come on. I mean, they are the class of 4A and have been what everybody's been chasing forever.
Well, they're what everybody wants to be.
Exactly. We all want to grow up and be that. Yeah. And right now, we got some young Buckeyes that are growing up right in front of our eyes. I really like the matchup tonight, Jeff. And it's not that Glen Rose isn't a good team.
No, they're you don't get in round 5 not being a good team.
And 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
And more impressively.
And picked to win.
And more impressively, they graduated 19 seniors that were 2 plays away from a state championship last year.
Yeah.
And they've got 9 seniors on the team this year. They only suit out 35.
Yeah, and opposed to Gilmer, who has, I believe, 18 seniors on this team. So it could come down to leadership. When you get this deep in the playoffs, the number of games that you've played in the past, the caliber that you've played. You started talking about that. We were looking at the schedule this year, and we were going, Alan, what are you thinking?
You scheduled the SEC West.
I seriously, because, we came right out of the box. We played Chapel Hill, who is picked to win state and still playing tonight. You went
Go Bulldogs, by the way.
Yeah, good for them. I'm still holding a little grudge, but I'll get over it. But you got, we went to Paris. We brought in a 5A school from Prosper, ironically.
The new high school here.
Yeah, we did. We played Kilgore, who is one of the best Kilgore teams I've ever seen. And so we punched above our weight class in 4A Division I schools or 5A schools the first 5 games. And then you roll straight into district, and who do you get? The best Pleasant Grove team I've ever seen on a football field. And I was honestly shocked that they didn't beat Carthage, and that was just the way the ball bounced in that game. They probably should have won. And then you go marching into the rest of district play, and then I'm going to tell you, normally when we go into the playoffs, and Gilmer's been to the playoffs, I think 44 seasons in their history, and most of those in the last 20 years, we march usually into the first 1, 2, 3 games of playoffs are kind of like, not worried to the 4th round, that kind of thing. Not this year.
No.
Every game we played. I mean, Sunnyvale, think about that, getting lucky to get out of there. We played some
Center,
which had a last-second field goal to win that game. You think about Aubrey.
Last second stand on defense.
Absolutely. So
Carthage overtime.
Every game has given it. It's the reason I'm retiring after this year. I mean, I'm getting too old to do that, but every game has been a battle. We have had to work for everything that we've had. Luck hasn't always been on our side as far as the calls on the field and just the different just the adversity these guys have had to overcome. And tonight they're going to have a little bit more. If you look down on the field down there, we'll try to get you a camera angle down here looking at the flags that are flying on the field. It is absolutely the wind's coming across the field, coming out of the south, and it's blowing pretty good. If you look down on the field, sometimes the wind's up high, but it's not down the field. It's on the field. The flags on the field are blowing, and so this team likes to pass 75% of the time, but Gilmer likes to throw the ball. So a lot of this, right from the start, Todd, is going to be about who's defending what end of the field, because you got wind at your back or you got wind in your face.
It's all the mitigating circumstances that you would expect from a Final Four. I mean, you got to play the game. As we all said, the prognosticators can talk about who they expected to be here, but the team that's here, both of them are the teams that executed and won. And that's why they're here. It's why we play the games.
Yeah.
For these Buckeyes, I think coming off of a huge mental breakthrough in taking down Carthage, and especially the way they did, I think it was impressive that the last play of the game came down to a freshman, a 14-year-old making a play.
So, you can't make that up.
His 15-year-old first cousin recovers the fumble, which is thank you, Lord, for that gene
That's
pool.
like a movie.
Yeah, and we've got 3 years left on one contract and 4 left on the other, which we're grateful for.
Yeah.
But Jeff, think about this. Those guys were playing when the season started against Chapel Hill. One of those guys that just won us the game last week on the last play of the game was on the freshman team, and the other one's on JV. Neither were even on varsity when the season started. It shows you how much these young Buckeyes have grown up right in front of your eyes.
And it makes you wonder as a fan, why were those two guys on the field when we were in overtime in the first place? Hagler hurt his arm, and we had to send a freshman in to at the biggest stand of the year, and lo and behold, the freshman causes the fumble.
All he did is make a play.
Yeah,
all he did is make a play.
He get so.
And as Coach Metzel says on Wednesday at the coaches luncheon, they're not freshmen and sophomores anymore. They've played now 13 games. They've grown up a lot, and a lot has happened. And a lot's going to happen here tonight. What I expect from the Buckeyes, quite honestly, is for them to come out and play really free, because they're really there's not that pressure anymore of something looming that they're going to have to
got to get over that psychological Carthage
you
deal.
feel like you're on the downhill side,
Yeah.
and like, hey, we can see AT&T Stadium from here. And again, it's just matchup. When we talk about Glen Rose, huge tradition, tough, hard-nosed football players. There's 35 of them, and it's just real simple. They just have not seen the speed that's coming at them for tonight. So
that's going to be a big factor tonight. We're going down to the field now to do the toss, and Buckeyes shaking hands with their opponent.
Let's say one thing for sure. We want to say a huge thank you to the Prosper Independent School District tonight. They have really plugged us in with all their field cameras and everything else. We've got a direct feed, so we're looking like a professional broadcaster. I know we don't sound like that. And for all you people out there that are listening, I know all the internet has all been ablaze, but we are homers and we do not apologize for it. If you don't like
We've had several people recognize that. They're pretty fair for admitting that they're hometown broadcasters, right? So,
and we admit it. And
we're rooting for the Buckeyes every play.
We're Buckeyes through
Make
and
no
through.
mistake,
But we're for kids, and that is we do
are.
this on a volunteer basis. Every single penny, and thank you to all of our wonderful sponsors throughout the year, goes to support these kids with scholarships, with everything from the gloves that they're wearing to their extra trips and everything in between. It's all about giving back to these kids and making sure that they have the experience that they really need to have.
I've been asked to do this.
Yes.
Hi, Mom.
Well, as hard as Eric, that's Eric Conitz. For those of you, you hear us talking about Eric all the time. For those of you that don't know, this is Eric Conitz, and he's the guy that makes the broadcast work. We just show up like 5 minutes before the game and get out there and go for it. So, but yeah, let's talk about keys to the game real quick tonight.
Yeah,
all right?
simple. Number one in a game this big, Jeff, is going to be turnovers. And both of these teams are plus side in the turnovers.
Well, Gilmer's plus 15 in the turnover category. We've only turned the ball over an average of once per game.
Huge.
And that's pretty strong.
Huge, and we've caused turnovers. We've played the ball and caused turnovers. Now, a lot of big plays that Glen Rose has had has come off turnovers because it's been an intercepted pitch out. It's been a pick six that you'll see this West Coast style of offense that they run. Now, they throw the ball 75% of the time, but for Buckeye fans that are used to the Buckeyes throwing the ball down the field, that's not the style of play that Glen Rose has. 80% of their passes are within 10 yards. They're trying to get their athletes out into open space very quickly, and they're trying to basically run the ball through their passing game. We call it a quick passing game. And the key for the Buckeyes tonight is going to be to get pressure on the quarterback.
Well, you're going to see a little different defensive
little
set.
Different. And I got to tell you, probably one of the best coaching jobs that I have ever seen in watching Gilmer football.
Talking about
the
Tommy last week.
What Tommy Edwards has done.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Strategically on the
last
defensive
week
side.
they couldn't have coached that game any better.
You got to be kidding me.
Question.
I mean, the execution, and they've made big plays, and that's tonight what it's going to come down to. Why I think it's so huge for the Buckeyes that are going to be kicking off here and going on defense first. So we're going to see that West Coast offense, Jeff, that's matched up. Before the broadcast starts tonight, we do want to say it's going to be a little bit different because of our state semifinal game, our UIL rules. We'll play some UIL commercials. We're not necessarily going to play sponsor, but we will have a lot of different angles. We'll have replay tonight, which is a very cool thing to kind of set up. So from a replay standpoint, we get some background and being able to see some things that we've never seen before. Once again, thank you, Prosper Independent School District. But
yeah, they've got a great AV class here that they teach the kids, and then the kids come out and actually get paid to do these games, do these broadcast games. So we are set to kick off. We've got the receiving team on the field for Glen Rose. We've got the Buckeye kickoff team set and ready to go. And let's see what we're going to have here is a kickoff right off the bat. This year, the leg has just been incredible, Todd, that we have seen from Pate. He has just been incredible with the punts that he has been able to place this year, the kickoff placements that he's had, and then, of course, last week, 4 field goals in a game. That's got to be a Gilmer record.
He scored 17 points.
Yeah.
Now, one thing to watch out for here, Jeff, Gruneweg, which is their best player, probably number 3, their leading receiver. They do a lot of reverse action off the kickoff. Let's see what happens here tonight.
All right, they're going to kick it right through the back of the end zone, and luckily the Buckeyes, this is exactly what I told you in pregame that I wanted to see. The Buckeyes are going to go on defense first, but they get to pick the field they want to defend, and they are defending into the wind. So Glen Rose is going to come out right from the start, and they're going to have to throw into the wind right from the get-go. When the Buckeyes get the ball back, they're going to have the wind at their back.
Now watch for number 3, and it's basically 3 phases to their offense, Jeff. When they go wide like this, again, they will throw the football out of the backfield a whole lot. Now here, watch for number 3 coming right out of the backfield.
Motion, that puts 2 receivers on the right. They hand off right from the start, and Buckeyes are all over that one right from the get-go. Buckeyes' defensive line has been, if I had to pick a group this year for most improved trophy, it would be the Buckeye defensive line.
They have young, you the sophomores and freshmen playing up there, but technique-wise, you can see the coaching what Tommy Edwards is capable of doing.
All right, here's the snap, dropping back, first pass of the game, flushed out of the pocket, going deep, way overthrown by about 5 yards, and well covered there by number 3 to Eric Tate, who's back there playing safety.
Well, you just saw that on that coverage right there, Jeff, the speed. Gruneweg is used to running away from people. Gruneweg's running across the field at full steam, and a number 3 passes him as the ball falls over his head. That's just something that you can't really prepare for. And this is a situation right now that Glen Rose does not want to be in, which is kind of 3rd and long. They will go to their bunch formation, look for near side down here with man-to-man coverage.
All right, here's the snap, drops back, looking downfield to the left side, batted away, almost intercepted.
This is
and
one of the
boy,
keys to the
Aaron
game,
Bell,
Jeff.
he set his sights on that ball. He was thinking another pick 6.
Here we go.
And 3 and out, Glen Rose is going to be forced to punt from deep in their own territory. Their kicker is going to be standing somewhere around the 12-yard line.
Yeah, not a great punting game, so number 3 the ever dangerous, we call him Sundays to Eric Tate. And I got to tell you, since Curtis Brown, he is probably the most dangerous Buckeye number 3 that we've seen. He is unbelievably talented.
All right, punt's going to go straight up into the wind and fall down on about the 44-yard line and take no bounce at all. So Buckeyes are going to take over an incredible field position. 1st and 10 from their opponent's 44-yard line. I love the start to this game.
You couldn't ask for better. Now, here's something to see, Jeff. Count the number of men in the tackle box. If they play 5 men in the box, they're going to play a safety deep. We're going to try to spread them out. But Will Henderson is going to run till he gets tired if they play a 5-man box here, because they're opening in a 5-man box, Jeff. I can just tell you, look out here for the Buckeye running game.
All right, here's the snap. Quarterback keeper right up the middle. Look at this. Scampering. 1 man to beat. 10-yard line. Drug down on the 5. And Buckeyes coming out aggressive with the quarterback keeper right up the middle.
5 men in the tackle box, Jeff. We just talked about it. You cannot defend with a dime package against – you got 5 offensive blockers. Caden makes 6. You put a hat on a hat, and the Buckeyes have it 1st and goal from the 5.
So first play line of scrimmage, big one. 1st and goal from the 5. Will Henderson lowers his head, gets to about the 3. That's going to be a 2-yard pickup. And Glen Rose does a good job of putting a hat on a hat there. And all year long, Will has proved that he's not only a fast runner, he's also a strong runner.
Strong.
I've seen him drag 3 defenders into an end zone multiple times this year.
Yeah, I think we'll give him one more shot here inside the 5-yard line and then watch for big number 0 to come in the game, and then you know what happens.
2nd and goal from the 3. Buckeyes send 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Handoff. Will Henderson, right side, cuts up the middle, and they do a good job once again. He gets maybe a yard on the carry, and we're going to call that 3rd and goal from the 3. I think it's time to bring in that big bell. Let's see if that's what they do.
Yeah, and this may be 4-down territory as well, Jeff, when you just saw the defensive stand that the Buckeyes put up, and Will is going to come out of the game, which should tell you something right now, as you've got the big dogs into the backfield for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, here's Bell. And they are stacking up behind Bates on the left side. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Here's the snap. Handoff to Bell. Lowers his head, touchdown.
And it does not take long as these Gilmer Buckeyes come out, and exactly what we talked about, Jeff, it's a matchup problem. It is a matchup problem. And for these Glen Rose Tigers, it's impossible to prepare for what you just got, which is when you can cover and you can run and you've got this kind of speed, and you're going to play a 5-man box to prevent Gilmer from throwing the ball, and your quarterback takes a 42-yard run, and then they just power in the end zone. We've only played football here for 2 minutes and 26 seconds, and the Buckeyes have gotten a 3 and out, flipped the field, and scored.
All right, here's the extra point attempt. It hits the uprights, no good. And that is very odd, as Pate
Let's
has
get
been.
It all out of our
let's
system
get it
now.
out now, yeah. But Pate, who is automatic, keep in mind you got that strong wind, below and behind him. But Pate right there hits the right upright, and it unfortunately bounces out instead of in. So Buckeyes are going up 6-0 with 9:34 left to play in the first quarter. We'll be right back after these messages.
At Gilmer High School, we offer a well-rounded educational experience for our students. With the best teachers in the state of Texas, we prepare our students for the world with high-quality academic studies, first-class extracurricular studies, and other unique opportunities. A man once said, "The Buckeyes win at everything." That we do. From UIL academic competitions, FFA competitions, band, theater, and sports, that's right. We even have an award-winning barbecue team. The Buckeyes strive for excellence in everything we do.
It kicks off once again deep into the end zone, and number 3, Grunenweg, will not have a chance. Now, Jeff, number 3 is one of their best receivers. His name is Josiah Grunenweg. And as you know,
that's easy for you to say.
I speak German, and it's going to be very difficult for me to not call him by his German name, as down there in the Central Texas area, lots of German roots, lots of German names on the roster. But the less role that number 3 plays in the game for Glen Rose tonight, the better off it's going to be for the Buckeyes. As 3 and out on the first drive, then gave up a 4-play scoring drive, 47 yards. We'll see what it holds here.
All right, rolling to his right side. Heavy pressure. He's going down.
That is
to Herrick Tate.
And
And that is a stunt coming from a corner position.
That is just speed, Jeff.
That's what 10-5 looks like coming up behind you.
That is exactly right.
If you've never been tracked down by 10-5,
that's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like.
And unfortunately for the quarterback, they lost 7 yards on that play now inside the 20. And he just is a very accurate quarterback. But, Jeff, if you can't get guys open inside that 10-yard cushion where he's very accurate, and you got guys breathing down your neck like that, it can be a long night. Behind the chains at second, and let's call it 16, right where the Buckeyes want to be.
7-yard loss, so it's second and 17. Fakes the handoff, short pass, slant, got some yards, and big zero. Aaron Bell comes down on him. That's going to be a positive gain of 4 yards for the Tigers. And I tell you what, Aaron Bell, who leads this team in tackles by a good margin, has just come into his own in the second half of this season.
Yeah,
and specifically in the playoffs, he has just played absolutely lights out.
Yeah,
absolutely.
and we needed him up front to shore up while these younger guys got going earlier in the season as his down lineman. But obviously, middle linebacker is his natural position, and that's what he's playing tonight.
All right, look how close the defense is played to the line of scrimmage here. Motion, flag on the play, and they're going to dump one into coverage. He catches it, but there is a flag, so let's see if that was possibly illegal procedure. It's going to be either offsides or illegal procedure.
Yeah, that's offsides against Gilmer is what they're signaling, which is kind of.
All right, so offsides. I didn't see who came across the line, and so that's going to cost Gilmer another. Let's see, they picked.
No, they don't add that on. They're gonna have
Yeah.
third down all over again. So instead of 3rd and 12, Jeff, it's going to be 3rd and 7, and the Buckeyes will get another crack at him here on 3rd down to get him off the field. As you saw that route, which was very well covered by Pate, who is not just a kicker but a linebacker. And now we're going to have 3rd down at 8. And for whatever reason, the Glen Rose fans don't like that call, but that's the correct call. 3rd and 8 now for Glen Rose, and for the Buckeyes, once again, it's about getting pressure on the quarterback. That is number 12. That's Canyon Evans that these Buckeyes are trying to just get off rhythm. 3rd and long, not really what.
All right, motion to the left side. One tailback in the backfield. Dropping back, heavy pressure. Forced to release quickly, and he does, and he breaks free. It's a foot race between Bird and the outside guy. There's Bill once again to save the day. Forces him out of bounds, but that is a huge 3rd and 8 play that flips the field and puts the Tigers in great field position all the way down to the Buckeye 32-yard line. That was huge. They needed it, and they got it when they needed it.
Big time. And we're playing man-to-man on the outside, and it's just a simple play that Bird just kind of whiffs on the tackle, and it's 1st down and huge pick up there for Glen Rose.
All right, from the shotgun, here's the snap. Drops back, looking downfield, going long, and that is overthrown, defended by number 7, Brendan Webb. Brendan was in good position, but if that ball had been thrown just right, that might have been 6 for the Tigers.
Yeah, once again, a little bit of pressure and throwing into the wind, Jeff, as you talked about before, and those flags down there blowing. So for Glen Rose, they try to strike quickly once they have big plays. They really live and die on big plays. But now they're back to 2nd down and long in Buckeye territory.
Here's the snap, handoff, number 20 up the middle, met by Bell, and look at him driving him back. I mean, look at that. You want to talk about strength. That guy's 6'2", 250 pounds, and he just drove that tailback 15 yards backward into the backfield.
My legs were going forward, but my body was going backwards. 3rd down and long, probably 4-down territory for Glen Rose. And Jeff, this is one of those plays that Glen Rose has to have go their way if they really want to stay in this game with the Buckeyes. Look for number 3, and also look for the tight end, number 24. He is the go-to guy right here in the security blanket, but don't worry, the Buckeyes have watched a lot of film on these 3rd down and long situations.
All right, motion to the left side. That puts 2 receivers to the left. Dropping back, dumps one right over the middle. Got room to run. Forced out of bounds at the 20. He does pick up the 1st down, and this drive stays alive.
Yeah, Will Henderson on him man-to-man across the field. And although we got... Yeah, we do have a 1st down inside the red zone. And again, Jeff, that's one of those plays for Glen Rose that they've got to have to make sure that everything goes correctly. Here's the snap.
All right, dropping to his left side. Heavy pressure, forced to throw it away, and that is going to be a wasted down. 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Castillo in on that tackle, or in on that quarterback pressure, rather, and that's exactly what Coach Tommy Edwards wants to see, is getting a guy in the quarterback's face, Evans, every single play. Those long-time developing routes that are the drag routes, the Buckeyes don't want to give them any time. Once again, 2nd and long for the Buckeyes, but Jeff, 4-down territory, kicking potentially into the wind. It is maybe not too early to call for a turnover here on the Buckeyes side, and a little fluttering pass that gets picked off wouldn't be a bad thing right here.
All right, 1 receiver wide to the left, 2 to the right, 1 back in the backfield, quarterback goes in the shotgun. Motion to the left side, dumps one quick, throws it low, dodges one would-be tackler, and a nice run there by the Tiger as he picks up what should have hit the ground. He was able to scoop up and get around one of the Buckeye defenders and turned what could have been nothing into a good 6 yards. That's going to bring up 3rd and 4. Buckeyes need to make a good defensive stand right here as the ball is placed on their own 14-yard line.
Yeah, Grunenweg is the talent on their team, Jeff. He's quick. He's not real big, but he runs well in space. And for the Buckeyes, they've got to close that space. He comes in motion, and there's not anybody within 7 yards of him, and they just simply flip it out to him. He goes and picks up 6 yards. Watch for the slant route here as they will try to go to the end zone. Grunenweg once again in motion.
All right, handoff up the middle. 24 bounces out to the left side, and he is hit pretty hard trying to dive forward and get that extra yardage. And he gets a couple on that one. That's going to bring up
4th and 2.
4th and 2. Now, they're moving the ball pretty good. They're feeling pretty good right now. Do they have a kicking game, or are they going to go for it here?
They will go for it, Jeff, and watch for a quick out route to number 24, the tight end here. And that's what they're going to try to do. We got to get pressure.
Empty backfield.
And we've got to watch Grunenweg.
All right, quarterback keeper up the middle, lowers his head. Look at this. Touchdown, Tigers. And he just lowered his head and wheeled his way into the end zone. That was a nice run there by Raymond.
24. That's the Raymond. He is their best power player. He's also their defensive end. They direct snap it to him, and that's going to be a quarterback draw all the way. I'm not sure that the Buckeyes recognize that with all the motion and everything else going on. But Glen Rose here with an opportunity to take the lead as the Buckeyes missed their extra point.
Yeah, they put it right down the middle of the uprights, and they are going to take the lead with 5:54 left to play in the first quarter. It is Tigers 7, Gilmer 6.
So, Jeff, let's go to a quick commercial.
Timeout.
All right. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
All right, we are back to Prosper, Texas, where the Gilmer Buckeyes are now trailing the Glen Rose Tigers 7-6 with 5:54 left to play in this first quarter. And the Buckeyes had several opportunities to get off the field there. Todd just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, and those are the plays that Glen Rose had to make, and they made them. That was a 7-play drive. They converted 2 first downs, and they had 7 first downs on that drive. A good drive by Glen Rose, but again, the Buckeyes 3rd and 4th down situations. And
kicking into the wind. Here's a high pooch kick, fielded on the 23-yard line by number 13, Jeremiah Noble, coming all the way to the right side, got a lane, cuts up field, still running. One man to beat down the sideline, got a couple with an angle, and he's going to take this thing all the way to the end zone. Buckeye touchdown, and what a run by number 13, Jeremiah Noble.
Speed, Jeff. It's just that simple. Now, you saw Jeremiah last week against Carthage try to make that exact play, and we said, what are you running parallel for? The reason that he's running parallel is simple, because he's trying to get around that wall to the right-hand side. Against Glen Rose, works like a charm.
They did that earlier this year, Todd,
absolutely,
where they set one up, and we ran all the way across the field. Now, they're going for 2 here, and they gave it to 0, and they will get the 2. So guess what? We picked up the 1 point we missed earlier from Mr. Automatic, and so that is going to be 14-7 by the Buckeyes. And boy, they made that look easy, Todd. Did you see the blocks they picked up going downfield. They had 3 guys with an angle on Jeremiah Noble, and we were able to pick up those blocks, and he was able to dodge them to get in for the score. I thought he might get down to the 10 or 5 when I saw the 2 defenders on the angle. Well, I don't know how he slipped by them.
It's called number 0, blocking out front. that kind of helps. But the Buckeyes practiced that, Jeff. I watched practice yesterday morning, and the last 15 minutes of practice on Thursday morning was spent on special teams. So every single detail is prepared for as the Buckeyes try to swing that momentum. And you hear Coach Metzel at the Coaches Show talking about stealing points. That's a stolen point. As the Buckeyes do not have to run an offensive play, and we go right back up 14-7. But, Jeff, on that play, you absolutely see what we talk about when we're talking about athletically. Glen Rose just has a hard time matching up. 73-yard return by Jeremiah Noble, and we can't say enough about that young man.
Couldn't happen to a nicer kid either.
Absolutely. All the stuff that he's been through, we don't even want to go into it. But we did talk on Wednesday in the Coaches Show, and I think Alan said, you know what, this is therapy for Jeremiah, and that 7 points sure helped.
It does. Here's the kickoff, and once again, they're going to take advantage of that wind and kick it deep, and that is going to drop right inside the end zone. Before we start this next series of downs, I want to give a shout-out to one of our, potentially, our oldest listener, Mr. Henry Francis, listens to the Buckeyes
yes, sir,
every
Mr.
Friday
Francis.
night, and his lovely daughter I met today, who's a teacher at Gilmer ISD. She is a delightful young lady, and her dad is 93 years old and listens to the Buckeyes. He armchair quarterbacks, evidently, and tells the coaches how it should be done, as many Buckeye fans do from their couches.
You got a lot more with 93 experience, but he doesn't listen to us, Coach, so I don't know what to tell you.
Tight set from the Tigers. One wide out to the left side. Motion out of the backfield. Quarterback's alone in the shotgun. Drops back, looking to pass. He's under some pressure. Dumps one, nice pass. Dumps a short one on a little out route, like we talked about. Good for 6 yards. And Jeff, that's their specialty. That's their bread and butter.
That's
right
a
there.
running play for them. And that out route to the tight end is their, as you said, their bread and butter play. They're going to go to that time and time again. But 2nd and 10 versus 2nd and 4 is a big difference for Glen Rose. They're in 2nd and 4 now. Playbook opens up a little bit.
All right, motion out of the backfield, trip receivers to the right side. Dropping back, stepping up, and the same play basically. And this time it's going to be good for about 3 yards with his forward momentum, maybe 2. And that's going to bring up 3rd and short for the Tigers.
Yeah, and this is where you got to watch for number 15 and number 24. Again, Jeff, it's that security blanket that they have the quick strike. 12 comes out of the game. 14 and 24 are going to go into the game, Jeff.
Okay, so what does that mean? We saw this while ago.
It's a run and play straight up your face.
Yeah, 12 came out. I didn't even notice that Evans had come out of the game, and they put number 24 in there. He is the guy he's their Aaron Bell, basically.
Yes, key on him.
So he is going to run another up the middle, and we're going to have to get an answer for that guy because he's going to do that all night on short yardage, and evidently very effectively. And you saw how he stood there. It was kind of a draw play. He just stood there for a couple of seconds and waited for that to develop.
He's waiting for his offensive line to pull, kick out, block down, and kick out. And now Evans comes back into the game. 1st and 10, Glen Rose from the 40.
I tell you, that's pretty effective. Trip receivers to the right side. And dropping out, rolling to his left side. Got a man open, and he picks it up. Nice play by the Tigers. Big gain, about 25 yards, and they flip the field over to the Buckeyes side of the ball.
Yeah, you've got to account for 3. He's going to wind up in scramble mode, which is exactly what he did there, and he will make plays. He is the security blanket for Evans.
All right, another short pass, this time to the right side. Buckeyes on it. He gets out to the 30-yard line. That's a gain of about 3 yards. Bring up 2nd and 7 for the Tigers. And they are really effective. You can see why they're...
It's the West Coast offense, we talked about.
You can see why they're in round 5.
It's controlled passing, and it becomes your running game. This short passing game is going to come down to whether the Buckeyes can get pressure on the quarterback, and you've got to account for number 3 and number 24. They're about 80% of their offense.
Yeah, this quarterback's very poised in the pocket. He's even with the pressure. Look at him. He's taking his time throwing all the way to an open man and unbelievably dropped. And that was blown coverage. Buckeyes just had missed a guy, and he throws all the way back across the field to the 10-yard line And lucky for Buckeyes, it hits the turf.
Yeah, the wind played a role, throwing all the way back across. And, Jeff, that's one play that Glen Rose did not make that may have a huge impact, is the Buckeye defense not accounting for that backside motion guy that just runs that wheel route. He was there and wide open. Both coaching staffs are going to see that one from up here upstairs.
Yeah, I believe this is still Evans in at quarterback here. Here's the snap. He drops back, throws an out route, and almost picked off. Eric Tate saw that one coming a mile away. And I tell you what, he come hauling across that field, and I thought this is a pick six for sure.
Yeah, that is fortunate that Eric Tate doesn't take that one back to the house. It's now 4th down. Now, we'll see if they try to quick kick into the wind, but 4th and 6 here, Jeff, the Buckeyes just have to play straight-up defense. They've just got to play defense in a way that they account for number 24. He's at the right-hand side. They like to run him straight down the seam here for a quick pass, but they've got to get guys going different directions first. This is a situation they've been in several times, but the play clock's running down. They're going to take a timeout here, Jeff.
Yeah, they had 3 seconds left on the play clock, forced to take a timeout. So they've been fairly effective at converting the long 3rd downs and even 4th down. And so they like their chances, they like their field position, so obviously they're going to try to go for it here. Or maybe they wanted to talk about it and say, we didn't like what we saw out there, we're gonna do a little quick kick or something and try to pin the Buckeyes deep and get it back.
My thought, Jeff, on that is simple. Watching what they've done before, they've been up very quickly in nearly every one of the games that they've had. They know what kind of firepower that they're facing tonight with the Buckeyes. They know they've got to take their opportunities when they've got them here on 4th down and convert this into a scoring drive. So whatever after 13, 14 weeks is in the playbook to try to get something out here, that's what you're going to see. And chances are it involves either number 3 or number 24 because that is their bread and butter. Once again, well over half the offense runs through those 2 guys. So for the Buckeyes, you cannot leave them space. You've got to leave them in a position, out here wide side, probably a crossing route. But you got to Eric Tate and I'm not sure who that other DB is back there, but we'll see what they draw up here.
All right, 2 receivers wide to the left. They're going for it. Quarterback steps up, fires a bullet, and drops it. Otherwise, he's got a 1st down, and that is going to be a turnover on downs for the Buckeyes. And while they're getting set, I want to give a shout out to the California Buckeye Boosters Club. And yes, I meant to say California. That's headed up by Miss Sarah Sharp Allen out there. They never miss a Buckeye game. They have their friends come over. They will listen to Buckeye games all the way out in California every Friday night, and they are big-time Buckeye fans.
Love them to death. Please keep all those California people out there with you while you're rooting for the Buckeyes as the Buckeyes have it 1st down and 10 from their own 30.
Empty set. 3 receivers right, 2 to the left. Here's the snap. Drops back, quick pass. It's a slant intended for number 7, Webb, and he just can't hold on to it, thrown a little behind him, and that's going to be 2nd and 10.
And so trying to get wide, and you see dime coverage. In other words, you got a diamond out on the wide side of the field with a deep safety, a diamond to the near side, and Jeff, once again, that leaves only 5 men in the box to defend the run. So now we go to a formation, Jeff, where we've got man-to-man coverage on the short side of the field.
4 guys stacked in a diamond, 1 to the left. Quarterback keeper up the middle, and somebody does a good job as a Tiger staying home. And if he didn't, that's a big run. But number 15 from his lineman position does a good job getting off his block and drags Caden down after a gain of only 1. So Buckeyes now looking at 3rd and 9.
Yeah, long 3rd down conversion. We'll see if Coach Metzel would go for it here. But 6 guys in the box now. They're daring the Buckeyes to throw the ball.
All right, dropping back. Dumping one down the middle. Got Webb. Picks up the 1st down and gets all the way out to the 47-yard line.
And
flag on the play.
15 is going to be tacked on all the way down to the 35.
That's personal foul, face mask against the Buckeyes. And how did you see that all the way up here, Eric?
Yeah, that's a great side.
We are way up here.
Yeah, that is going to be 15 more yards down to that. That's going to take it all the way down to the 37-yard line.
That's a big play.
Big play on 3rd down. Buckeyes flip the field and pick up, let's call that 40 yards with the penalty. And a huge play once again from Brendan Webb. We can't even say enough about the Webb, the play that he made last week.
Yeah, we watched him grow up in Kilgore, and he is not taking his foot off the pedal. Dumping it out to Will Henderson, and he can't hold on to the football as he comes around the left side. He had some good blocks out there. I think that could have turned into something really nice for Buckeye fans.
Yeah, Will Henderson in space is a good situation.
Yeah, with the blocking that this receiving staff does down here, which I think may be some of the best we've ever had. Yeah. These guys do good at not just catching balls and running after the catch, but they're good at blocking downfield. You watch the film, and it's amazing. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. They're showing a stunt from the outside. Handoff. Number 14, Smith, up the field. Fighting for yardage, gets the first down. And he has been another guy that has come on, a senior and one of the nicest kids with the best smile you've ever seen in your life.
I love
Just a nice kid, and he can run with anger in his heart.
Once again, a great gene pool as we've had Smiths up and down the line since we were in high school, all of them equally talented. And like I say, Jeff, if he's not backing up one of the fastest 18-year-olds on the planet, he's an all-state running back himself.
There's no question. He starts anywhere else in East Texas for sure. Handoff, once again, left side, coming around the left side, one guy to beat, cuts up field down to the 20. So that's good for 5 yards, and we always say
we'll take it.
We'll take 5 yards all night long.
Absolutely. As big number 0, Bell, comes back in the game for Bates, and Dervay getting his time in early here in the first quarter. 1:34 left, and the Buckeyes with 14 points and a 7-point lead already have it inside the red zone. 2nd and 5 from the Glen Rose 20.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Smith goes in motion. Quarterback keeper, he's got a block. Throws a couple of stiff arms, gets down to the 15-yard line, and that should be enough to move the chains.
And that's just math, Jeff, right? I mean, if Buckeye fans can count, just count the number of guys in the box. When you have 3 down linemen and only 1 linebacker, and you got a stand-up 9 technique, normally that's number 4 if you see him on the screen. He's always to the short side of the field, but they just can't account for that kind of math when the Buckeyes decide to run the ball. Now they dare him to throw.
To the right side, 1 to the left. Smith is in the backfield. Here's the snap, handoff to Smith up the middle. Smith falls forward for a gain of 5. And again, 5, 5, another 5. And you can win football games 5 yards at a time. I saw Liberty Hill do it to us back in 2007.
Yes, unfortunately, as one of the state championship appearances by the Buckeyes over the last 20 years. And the Buckeyes, once again, playing tonight for that right to go back to the state championship in Jerry's World for the last 3 out of 4 years.
All right, motion. Handoff to Webb around the right side. He's got a lead blocker. Smith, look at him, cut up field, and that's going to be a Buckeye touchdown. Number 7, Webb.
Brennan making a great move, but he ran 8 yards, Jeff, before anybody touched him. Just outflanking Glen Rose with some great blocking. And the Buckeyes now extend this lead out to a 20-7 lead with the extra point left to come. And Jeff, once again, we talked about at the top of the show here, as we're almost played 1 quarter. The athletic advantage that the Buckeyes have is pretty evident.
Yeah, it is. We talked about the difference in speed on the field tonight and the difference. And here's Mr. Automatic, Pate, who's looking to redeem himself after missing the first extra point attempt. Here's the snap. Will Gross, we got one through, nearly got a block right there by number 7. We missed a block on the left side. You know, Will Gross down there, number 20, is the holder. You think about the pressure that kid has in the last few games. I mean, 3 field goals and the extra points. If we miss any of those, we don't win that game. We're not here tonight. So those guys you're talking about, you got Bates, who's snapping. You got Will Gross, who's holding. And then you got, of course, Peyton, who's been automatic all year long. If those 3 things don't happen properly, we're not here tonight.
Yeah, they're the Coca-Cola brothers. You know why I call them that, Jeff?
Why is that?
It's if you know the Coca-Cola commercial with the polar bears.
Yes.
All those guys got absolute ice water in their veins. They're a bunch of polar bears.
I called his dad this week. I called Ryan Pate and told him, I said, I finally figured out why your kid's such a good kicker under pressure. It's because you and your dad are so calm and so, you know, they don't get excited about anything. I said, it's genetics. That's the reason he's a good kicker. And his dad thought that was pretty funny. But watch this. He's lining up deep because he's going to probably kick it all the way to the back of the end zone once again. And I love that strategy. I always have. If you got a kicker that can do that, let's do that and start. Guaranteed start from the 25 is I'll take it every day.
And he delivers once again as that 8-play, 49-yard drive with 4 first downs puts the Buckeyes up 21-7. And here comes the black flag once again, Jeff. As 52 seconds left, the Buckeyes went on defense first. So they will have the ball to start the second half. But, Jeff, more importantly, when they have the ball to start the second half, they'll be going with the wind again. Seems like the wind has died down a little bit tonight as it's gotten a little bit later in the evening. And the wind coming directly from the south. So we've got great weather tonight. It has not been cold, which is an awesome thing. But these Buckeyes, for the next 52 seconds, would dearly love to get a 3-and-out here while they're forcing Glen Rose to go against the wind.
All right, Glen Rose trying to get something going. One receiver left and right, motion to the left. Here's the snap. Handoff. And no, it's
Hagler sacked him.
Yeah, Hagler. I thought he handed the ball off. Hagler takes Evans to the ground.
He was wearing number 54 for the Buckeyes before he even looked up.
That's not an outfit you look flattering in, I'm going to tell you now.
Watch this replay, Jeff, as we've got such great replay coverage. He looks up
Hagler
and
just swallows him.
Wow.
Oh, my God. Look at him. He's like, what? Did I do that?
That is, give me some Pringles and a Coke with that, please. I will take that snack.
2nd and 15. Now ball spotted now on the 20. And the Buckeyes defense doing a good job here tonight. 2 receivers right, 1 left, 1 back. Here's the snap. Drops back, looking across midfield, throws to the left side, got a man open, forced out of bounds at about the 35-yard line, and that is going to move the chains as that was a 15-yard gain.
Yeah, that's Gruneweg, and he is just running a crossing route with man-to-man coverage with Hackett in coverage, who just gives him a step. And that is one of those things that the Buckeye defense, you just have to know the ball's coming to number 3. Once again, we've got a 4-man box, so the Buckeyes playing pass defense here first.
All right, they're going to send 3 receivers to the left side, 1 to the right, 1 back. Quarterback drops back, looking to his left side, got a man, targeted, and that is going to fall incomplete, bring up 2nd down. Want to give a shout-out to Peggy Patterson all the way over in Fort Worth, Texas, listening to the Buckeyes tonight, rooting for Coach Bowman, of course.
As Joe Dodd tells us stat-wise, number 3 already has 92 yards receiving in this game, and he's their bread and butter. 1 second left in this quarter, Jeff, with the incomplete pass. They're going to have to snap it 1 time more with 20 seconds left on the play clock, and they've got 2nd down and 10 now before we flip this field around.
All right, 1 second left in the first quarter, and then the Buckeyes are going to have wind in their face. Quarterback drops back under pressure, throws it low to number 3, and they're going to call that a catch at the 44-yard line.
Incomplete pass. The wide judge says it hits the ground.
Nope, he says it hits the ground. All right, that's good for Buckeye fans. That is the end, folks, of the first quarter. And the score is Gilmer 21, Glen Rose 7. I want to remind you that Pigskin Prep picked the Buckeyes as a 3-point underdog tonight. So we enjoy being 21. Now, this game's a long way from over, obviously. But what we're saying is we were picked the underdog in this game. We're playing against a fantastic Glen Rose Tiger team. And we're very happy to go out after the first quarter, 14 points ahead. What did you see that you liked in the first quarter, Todd?
Yeah, first of all, strategically, opting to get a 3-and-out, go with the wind, and then the big-time special teams play. Jeremiah Noble returning that kick for a touchdown. If you would have told me, Jeff, that the Buckeyes are going to score 21 points in the first quarter and not receive the ball first, I'd take that every single time. What it tells you is that there's a lot of offensive efficiency, and the Buckeyes are executing very well. Now it's just going to be a question of can they use that athleticism to get up a couple of more serves. A play like this to start the second quarter, 3rd down and 10, with Glen Rose in their own territory is an opportunity to get off the field once again.
Yeah, and now keep in mind the field's going to shift now. Buckeyes are going to be going into the wind. That's going to be a bit of a factor. Think about the kicking game. We've been kicking it through the field goal.
How about we don't punt? How about we just
we don't
run
worry
the
about
ball
that.
and go score?
But we're going to be throwing into the wind, and of course they successfully, their game has been pretty efficient tonight. They've been able to convert several 3rd downs to be able to get downfield and get the score that they got early on. So let's find out here what the Buckeyes have in store defensively as Glen Rose is sitting here looking at 3rd and 10 from their own 35-yard line. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Quarterback drops back. Very poised in the pocket. Goes for the long ball. Well covered there by number 1, Will Henderson. Now, I'll tell you what, that receiver nearly pulled it in anyway. That was a very well thrown ball into the wind.
I don't think that he is used to running a route and looking up and seeing a guy right in his face, as Will Henderson can run with anybody, as he just proved right there. And the Buckeyes find a way to get off the field here. And, Jeff, the first punt that Glen Rose had into the wind was a disaster. They gave the Buckeyes great field position. And here's another thing that can be disastrous for Glen Rose. Don't punt it to number 3 and let him return it. Because Sundays, Mr. Eric Tate will make you pay.
All right, we had a low snap, and they are yelling poison, and they let that ball wisely hit the turf. And that's going to be great field position for the Buckeyes. 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. I'll tell you, that was a big factor in last week's game against Carthage was field position.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't have good field position start out on kickoffs and whatnot against help me.
Carthage.
I tried to say Argyle. No, the week before.
Aubrey,
thank you. And they worked on that hard, and so far in this game tonight, field position, that win goes to the Buckeyes so far.
So we get a penalty that is 10 yards, holding, I guess, on something that was not a return, so not something you expect from the Buckeyes. Will back us up inside the 30-yard line, as we will have now 1st and 10 from our 25. But, Jeff, on this drive right here, dial up number 1 and look for Will Henderson to power the football going against the wind here. And if he can get loose and break one, Jeff, you're going to see exactly how fast a man can travel going into the wind.
All right, here comes the snap, and they're going to do that right off the bat. Keep it on the ground. Will Henderson breaks free, and look at this. Track meet, we'll see you all the way to the house. Will Henderson, 10-2, 100 meters, second fastest kid in Texas, top 10 in the nation. Pulls ahead by about 15 yards there at the end,
and, Jeff,
right out of the gate, Buckeyes on the board.
I don't mean to be prophetic, but excuse me for being prophetic. Dial up number 1 and see how fast a man can run into the wind is exactly what you just saw. 75 yards, 1 run, and Will Henderson turns this thing into.
Well, if you give him a gap at all, when he gets to your secondary, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble if he gets to the second level, especially if you don't have a guy back there that can at least pretend to get an angle on him. It's just not fair.
All right, here's Bates with the snap, Will Gross with the hold, and Pate with the kick. It is up and right down the middle. And once again, Buckeyes up 27-7 with 11:30 left to play in the second quarter. I've got some stats for you, Todd. Passing. Gilmer is 1 of 3 for 18 yards, which is insane when you think about it. Look at the scoreboard, 21 points. Glen Rose was 8 of 16 for 114 yards. Rushing, Gilmer had 11 rushes for 84 yards. Glen Rose had 7 for 14
and Jeff,
yards.
Let me just say now it's 12 rushes for 154 yards.
Yeah. We'll give you that at halftime. But this is first quarter. 7 for 14 for Glen Rose. The total was 14 for 102 yards and 23 plays for Glen Rose at 128 yards. So they actually had more yardage than Gilmer did, but Gilmer was up 21-7.
And Jeff, of those 128, 92 came from number 3.
Yeah, and luckily Gilmer had no penalties in the first quarter, and Glen Rose had 1. So we had 2. I'm never trusting Joe's stats again. That was the last time right there.
Yeah, we had 15 yards of penalties. That is correct. We had an offsides, and then we had a hold that backed us up 10 yards on that.
Joe must have been eating a hamburger when that happened, because I didn't hear him screaming in the other room anyway. All right, here's the kickoff. Into the wind. High pooch kick. Going to be fielded on about the 25-yard line. And they're running to the right side of the field. Heavy pursuit. And he's got a little bit of running room there. And he gets plowed from behind. And I believe that was number 26 for the Buckeyes that got in there on top of him. And he hit him hard. That was Devin McDonald on the stop.
Yeah, he said, come back. As we've got a score, it's...
Yeah, listen to this. Belleville, not surprising to me, I don't know about other people, Belleville's leading Wimberley 7-0. And so that's the team. I don't want to play either one of those guys, but I will tell you, which one scares you more, Belleville or Wimberley?
You know, I think we match up better against Belleville simply because they're Carthage in terms of athletic, but they're one-dimensional on offense. They run the slot T, where Wimberley is more balanced and has a running quarterback that's really good, which we've kind of had problems with.
I don't like either one of those. All right, handoff, a little reverse, and it's very effective as he picks up big yards, and he's going to be forced out of bounds there by number 3, Tarek Tate has to chase him down, but that was a really effective play and big yardage all the way past the 50-yard line down into Buckeye territory. Ball's going to be right at, I guess they're going to put it on the 50.
Yeah, the Buckeye coaching staff needs to realize that number 3 is their whole offense, is everything positive that's happened really tonight for the Glen Rose Tigers has been through Gruneweg, number 3, and just put our number 3 on their number 3 and forget about it, Jeff.
All right, trip receivers right side, everybody stacked in tight. Fakes the handoff, drops back, going deep over the middle. Intercepted. Easily. Number 15 cuts back. Look at him picking up yardage downfield. Makes a nice cut across midfield down to the 43-yard line. And that was absolutely fantastic play there by Micah Easley. And he is about, what, Todd, 6'4"?
Yeah.
Easy 6'4", maybe 6'5", and he jumps up and snatches that ball and has a nice return. He catches it around the 30, gets 20 yards, 25 yards, 28 yards return. Not bad.
Yeah, it's Micah is the backup safety, but he's got great ball skills. I can't wait to see what he does on the receiver side. But lots of promise there, and it was just a matter of time that the Buckeyes are going to read the quarterback's eyes and come up with a pick, and the Buckeyes have the ball once again.
All right, Smith in the backfield this time. They shift student body left, 2 receivers wide left. Bootleg quarterback to the left side, and I tell you what, Glen Rose did a fantastic job of recognizing what was coming and getting over there in a hurry. They limit that to 1 yard gain, and nice defensive play there by Glen Rose.
Yeah, difference there, Jeff, is they're in a 6-man box, not a 5-man box, is they've got number 4 to that wide side. He does a good job stretching it out. Glen Rose, tough-nosed football team. And it doesn't matter how many blockers you get out there. They see that, and they practice that very well. And they're going to force the Buckeyes to try to go to the air here. You notice, Jeff, that only 5 guys in the box now, really daring the Buckeyes to throw the football.
All right, Webb at the bottom of your screen. Tarek Tate at the top. Handoff, Smith. Got a big block. Lowers his head, bowls his way forward. He's going to be about a yard short probably of the first down. It's going to be 3rd and short.
4-down territory for the Buckeyes down to the 34-yard line.
They're doing a hurry-up offense. Here's the snap. Handoff again to Smith. Smith easily picks up the first down, driving his legs out past the 30-yard line. That'll move the chains.
Yeah, Smith kind of irritated with himself there. He wanted to make a jump cut, but the guy was hanging on his leg. But the Buckeyes go fast and take advantage, move the chains. Back in with some fresh legs comes the speedster, Will Henderson. And, Jeff, right now the Buckeyes.
Isn't it great to be able to spell your running back that's also playing safety and corner? 1st and 10 for the Buckeyes. Handoff to Will Henderson, left side. Breaks 1 tackle, lowers his head. Good for about 8 yards, maybe 9 yards on that carry. 2nd and short.
Yeah, number 7's backing up out there from his corner position, trying to come off of his block and thinking, oh, my gosh, here comes number 1 full speed. And he ran right in his face. I mean, Will lowering the boom there, picking up 8 big yards, knocking on the door of the red zone now. The Buckeyes look right here for Jeff for a quarterback draw.
All right. Yeah, they send the quad 4 out to the right side. We saw a quarterback draw last time. We're going to see it again. And guess what? Glen Rose says, nope, seen that one.
But
they did pick up enough to get the first down. And I love that because it forces them to cover, everybody has to come left. That is going to move the chains for the Buckeyes. In case you're just joining us, Buckeyes lead Glen Rose 28-7 with 9:12 left to play in the second quarter. It's been all Buckeyes so far in this game tonight.
Yeah, and with a whole nother 9 minutes left to play in this half, Jeff, and the Buckeyes knocking on the door, I don't think that things are going to do anything but get a little bit uglier as the Buckeyes are going to receive the ball to start the second half with the win.
All right, 2 receivers left, 1 right. Motion, Tarek Tate comes into the slot position. Handoff, number 1, heading around the right side. Beats 1 man, beats a 2nd man, lowers his head, past the 5-yard line. They're going to say he went out around the 5, and that is going to be another first down. 1st and goal from about the 4.
Yeah, Big Bell is going to stay in the game with the man package here. I mean, it is big boy football up front. What a job this offensive line is doing tonight, Jeff. And notice, going into the wind, we're just content to run the football, and they're doing it very, very well.
Buckeyes just playing extremely well the last few weeks. Hand off to Will Henderson, and he lowers his head for the touchdown. Touchdown, Henderson.
That's his second touchdown of the night as the Buckeyes stretch this lead out to 34-7 and really kind of start applying some nails in the coffin already with 8 minutes still left to play in the first half. Do not look for the Buckeyes to let off the gas at all here as this Glen Rose team, very proud tradition, Jeff.
It's a dangerous team. You don't back off of them at all.
You got to keep the pedal to the metal. And for right now, the Buckeyes stretching this out to a 27-point lead with the extra point left to come. We still have 8:31 to play here in the first half.
All right, here's the automatics. Grayson Bates to Will Gross. Nice hold, and Pate puts it right through the middle of the uprights for another score, and Buckeyes go up on top 35-7, commanding lead with 8:31 left to play in the first half. We'll be right back after these messages.
Our band program at Gilmer High School is first class in every way. Led by Mr. Eric Gray, our band has been in the state marching finals for multiple years. Being a band member is a huge commitment, with countless hours of rehearsal time and lots of late nights. Not only do they entertain us during halftime of a football game, but they also produce several shows throughout the year. No doubt, they are the pride of Upshur County, the Gilmer Buckeye Band.
And we're back to the action. The Buckeyes with a 35-7 lead following an interception by Micah Easley, returned to the 47-yard line. 7 plays later, 7 runs later, the Buckeyes strike pay dirt behind Will Henderson, and the Buckeyes lead 35-7. Kicking off now, Jeff, for the 6th time tonight already. We still have 8 minutes left in the first half.
All right, high pooch kick. This side to the left side, fielded, and trying to reverse it. They fumble. The ball's loose. Buckeyes say they have it. Let's see what the referee says. And we'll talk about what Buckeyes have the ball on the 23-yard line. And Todd, we talked about this during pregame. They like to do this little reverse thing that's very dangerous on a kickoff. And Buckeyes got down the lane so fast.
That is
they tried to hand it off, and they hit them.
Trillian saw it coming, and he sprinted as that ball was hung up in the air by the great kick from, once again, Pate, hanging it up high enough. And when the catch was made, he reached out to hand the ball off to Grunenweg, and Trillian Butler knocks it out and recovers the fumble. 1st and 10 Buckeyes now from the 22-yard line. Wow, it's turnovers, and the Buckeyes just have to convert right here.
2 receivers, wide to the right, 1 to the left, 1 back in the backfield. Dropping back, looking to pass, and it is a touchdown.
Brennan
Webb, number 7 for the Buckeyes, and boy, they make it look easy.
I'm telling you, Brennan Webb.
What a great pass.
Already with a huge playoff run, and he's offered as a UTSA Roadrunner for next year, for the year after next, because we've got another year on his contract. Thank you. As Brennan Webb catches another big touchdown for the Buckeyes. It's now 41-7. Jeff, we still have 8:21 left to play in the first half. Dare I say the Buckeyes may be pushing a half 100 here in the first half.
But my son Braden, who was listening to us tonight, said, tell Todd to stop jinxing it. So here's the kick. It's up and good by Pate. And that is Buckeyes 42-7 with 8:21 left to play in the first half. And Todd, it has been all Buckeyes all night tonight.
And Jeff, you just had the feeling. It's just a bad matchup for Glen Rose, Jeff. I mean, from the athletic standpoint, and for the Buckeyes coming off that win and just getting that 900-pound gorilla off their back with Carthage and making that big C in their mind that's been tattooed there for 4 short years.
Yeah.
Just kind of go away. You see a freedom, you see a passion, you see energy around these young Buckeyes. And when they turn all of that talent loose, this is what you get. You get an offensive explosion.
And, during the coaches show we did this week, we asked Alan, hey, at what point did the guys figure out, hey, we've got this. We can do this. And he said first quarter, they came over the sideline and said, we've got this. Yeah. We're going to do this. And they figured out that they could play with Carthage, who is, again, we take nothing away from Carthage ever. Scott Surratt and that Carthage team is amazing, best program in the state. But behind the Buckeyes, of course.
Yeah.
And and one of the best programs in the state. Here's another high pooch kick. Going to be fielded this time at the 25-yard line. Buckeyes on it immediately. 4-yard return. And keeping them back behind that 30-yard line. That's the goal, Todd, is to have the opposing team not be able to start with better field position than the 30-yard line.
Now this is, Jeff, where things can get ugly if you're an opposing team. Down 42-7. You're down 35 points to these Buckeyes, and there's still 8 minutes left. What you cannot do is panic and start throwing the ball, because you stop the clock and you give the Buckeyes more and more and more offensive possessions. As Joe Dodds told us a million times, the Buckeyes win 95% of their games when they score over 30 points. Jeff, we're at 42 right now and counting. We're not halfway through the second quarter yet.
All right. Handoff, fakes the handoff, dumps one out to number 24, the big tight end, and he is good for about 15 yards on that carry and a big first down for Glen Rose.
Yeah, and Jeff, we had the quarterback dead to rights. We went for the handoff fake. Instead of just tackling the quarterback, it's a run-pass option. And Glen Rose, very, very fortunate that wasn't a huge tackle for a loss.
All right, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, motion to the right. Quarterback, heavy pressure, forced to just throw it away to save his life. And we got a penalty flag down on the other side of the field. I guess they're going to call that pass interference.
Yeah, that was a hold, and Bird, it just got beat to the inside and just grabbed him because he didn't want to give up a touchdown. And this is where you can't just go to sleep, right? You got a 42-7 lead. You have to understand that you don't need to give a team like the Glen Rose Tigers any advantages or favors. You got to lock in on the defensive side. The Buckeyes had great pressure. I don't think that ball was going to be completed in the first place.
That quarterback was just trying to get it out of his hands. He had 3 Buckeyes in his face.
But find number 3 and find number 24. Play defense on them and come get the quarterback, and everything will go okay for the Buckeyes.
They're both headed to the right side. Quarterback drops back, had some pressure. Nice screen pass. Look at this. And a great save there by number 16. That's Lofton. And if he doesn't pick that tackle up, that's a good run right there. That might even be a score potentially.
Yeah, good play for Glen Rose, picking up 6 on first down. But, Jeff, to your point, great call. And that could have been a lot more if it weren't for Lofton.
3 receivers to the right, now 2 to the left. Dropping back, got time this time, rolling to his right. This time he's going to throw it downfield, got a guy open, and what a big play. Man, I tell you what, this Evans, he is so poised, and he can sling a ball. I mean, he can spin it, and he does it that time for a big play all the way down to the 7-yard line.
Well, Jeff, that's scramble drill, right? If you're scrambling, all the receivers know which spot they're going to, and so does Evans. And we've got going backwards now for Glen Rose, illegal procedure on 1st and goal from the 8. It's going to turn it into 1st and goal from the 13. Here is a go backwards opportunity for the Buckeyes, who's got a lot of backups in the game right now defensively, trying to make sure that we keep some fresh legs because we're 42-7, and Jeff, there's a lot of football left to play here, but things are, let's be honest, looking good for the Buckeyes. You know what's coming next week. You want to get as little mileage as you can.
I refuse to talk about next week until the 4th quarter.
Until the 4th quarter.
You can have that conversation with anyone else but me. 2 receivers wide to the left, 1 back in the backfield. Here's the snap. Dropping back, Evans looking for the end zone. He's got a man open. Touchdown, Tigers.
Yeah, that's a little pick route with number 1. As number 3, once again, Grunenweg stretches this into double digits for Glen Rose. Just some defensive breakdowns that entire series, but we do have a flag down, Jeff. Let's see what that call is.
Let's see what we got.
It is holding against Glen Rose.
Man, they've had our kind of luck in this game with penalties so far. If that gets called back, well, they're calling it for a touchdown. Personal foul against the defense.
So this is one that if you're Coach Metzel, you just want to basically grab some people's attention, as we just gave up a long drive just with some mental breakdowns, and now we get a roughing the passer penalty, which is going to be 15 more yards, and it's going to invite them to an onside kick. I mean, it's just very simple. And once again, the Buckeyes just need to maintain poise. They played great here in the first half, but they just need to keep executing.
Yeah.
And
the extra point is up and good. And so Glen Rose back on the scoreboard. We have 7:03 left to play in the first half. Gilmer leads 42-14. And we are going to go to a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Texas needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
And we're back. Prosper, Texas. Gilmer Buckeyes with 7:03 left to play in the first half lead the Glen Rose Tigers 42-14 as Glen Rose just scored and 15 yards tacked on from a personal foul penalty at the last play. So they are kicking from the Buckeye 45-yard line instead of their own 40-yard line, which means, you know, given the score here, that this could very well be a onside kick. I sure would do it here.
Yeah, nothing
given
to
the
lose
score,
here,
nothing to lose. If you came to win, and it looks like they're going to kick it right through the back of the end zone, and that's one strategy. And so the Buckeyes are going to take over 1st and 10 on their own 25-yard line.
Yeah, and with 7:03, Jeff, the Buckeyes need to basically drive the length of the field, run the ball, and just go score again. I mean, let's go ahead and get ourselves a situation where we've got a commanding lead, knocking on the door of 50 going in at halftime, and kind of put that last series, which was just some mental lapses on the part of the Buckeyes, not something Coach Metzel wants to see. I mean, Jeff, think about it. You've got basically 6.5 quarters left to play in the season now.
Yeah, it's time to get perfect. It's time to get perfect.
Exactly
two
right.
receivers wide left, two wide right. Drops back, and look at this. What a great job by the corner over here that just drives our wide receivers into the other one, and that play had no chance. That is just a good heads-up play there by number 2 for the Tigers.
Yeah, he's seen that play before, and for the Buckeyes, it puts us behind the chains at 2nd down and 10. And kind of the mental lapse kind of continues here. You got to see the Buckeyes come out and execute.
All right, 2 receivers to the left, motion to the left. They dump one coming out of the backfield, headed upfield, dodging would-be tacklers and diving, and the Buckeye, he fumbled, and Glen Rose says they have the ball. And that Tigers ball on the Buckeye 39-yard line. That's a big break there for the Tigers as a little momentum has shifted over to the Tigers in the last couple of minutes of the game.
Yeah, and that's just hustle play there by Brendan Webb, but not taking care of the football, trying to get what he can.
Yeah, he was diving.
He was diving, and the ball got knocked out of his hand.
It happens.
And that's one where you just kind of go, okay, boys, are we going to allow the momentum to continue, or are we going to bow our necks right here?
Yeah, we're still on top in turnover category. We've got a fumble and an interception, and they just got one back. So here's the snap. They dump a quick one out to the left side, and a good job there defensively. Brandon Webb and Dodd get over there to make the stop after a gain of about 4, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 6.
Yeah, that pressure came from the outside from Jeremiah Noble, number 13, on a corner blitz, and it just takes a little bit too long because Evans sees that coming and can just get that quick pass out. So we've got to basically cover those receivers tight in those first 5-yard windows so that he does not have a chance to kind of get those running plays out. In motion right now, what you see with Grueneweg is
3 receivers out to the left side. They hand it off this time, and that's a good call because they get the first down. And that is going to move the chains, keep this drive alive with 6:05 left to play in the first half. Momentum on the side of the Tigers. Hurry up offense, another handoff at the middle, and look at this. Buckeyes hit him at the line of scrimmage, but he does a great job of bouncing back and coming back around. Dodd has to finally finish him off. So what should have been a loss turned into a couple of yards just on a hustle by number 20 on the Tigers.
Yeah, he got hit by a freight train with number 0 hitting him in the hole and blasting him back, but he knocked him back and he stayed on his feet, kept his feet churning, and picked up 6 on that play. That's just a lot of want-to there from Glen Rose and number 20.
All right, here's the snap, dropping back, looking to pass. Rolls to his left side. Quarterback's going to keep it, and run out of bounds around the 22-yard line. He'll be shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 2. Look for him to possibly come in with that set where number 24 goes into Wildcat.
That's exactly what I expect to see, Jeff. So watch and see if number 12 stays in the game or comes out, because it's 4-down territory. They may save that play for 4th down, as the Buckeyes need a negative play here. Once again, just these last couple of series, just some mental lapses on the part of the Buckeyes, kind of relaxing a little bit, and you cannot do that against a good football team.
All right, motion again, handoff up the middle, big hole and a hard run, and they pick up the first down as they get out to the 15-yard line. That was number 24. He's the guy that goes into the Wildcat set for him sometimes. He's a hard runner. He lowers his head, gets to the 15-yard line, and Tigers, after capitalizing on the fumble of the Buckeyes, are 15 yards away from getting halfway back into this game. 3 receivers stacked to the right, motion coming back to the left side, so that's 2 and 2. Quarterback drops back, forced out of the pocket, running for his life, and he's going to be forced out of bounds and going to lose about 3 yards on that play, but he wisely got out of bounds.
Yeah, stops the clock with 4:41 left to play in this first half. And again, the Buckeyes would dearly love to have the last 6 minutes back. As you mentioned, Jeff, just momentum all on the side of Glen Rose. They're in a deep hole right now, down 42-14. But the Buckeyes just kind of relaxing in some mental lapses has got them be careful not to mess around and let Glen Rose back in this
Turnover
game.
would be fantastic here. Handoff, 24 up the middle, found a hole down to the 10-yard line, and he is just a hard runner. And that offensive line on the right side does a good job of opening up a nice hole for him. He's not fast. He kind of runs like Jason Witten used to on the Cowboys. He's a big tight end too, and but he's effective at getting yards.
Yeah,
2 receivers to the left. Number 3
again.
goes in motion. They hand off again to 24, who again has a nice hole to run through, and 3 yards is going to bring up
4th down and 2.
4th and a long 2. A real long 2. And so wouldn't it be great for the Buckeyes to make a big stand here as they bring in Lee?
And just shut down the momentum here. And 24's in the Wildcat.
24's in the Wildcat. It's coming straight up the middle. Here he is, and he picks it up again as he crosses over the 5-yard line and picks up 1st and goal. So Tigers trying to fight their way back into this game, down 42-14 with 3:38 left to play. And Buckeyes trying to find an answer for this running game now of the Tigers. Number 12 checks back into the game. That's Evans, the quarterback. Very effective ball spinner.
Yeah, I'm not sure I wouldn't just go with 24 in the Wildcat, Jeff. They've moved the ball and challenged the Buckeyes to stop them, and so far the Buckeyes have not.
They're going to hand off number 3 left side, and he lowers his head behind those big offensive linemen for... Nope, doesn't get the touchdown. He is on the 1-yard line. So there is still hope for a potential fumble here. They're going to hand it to 24 on the left side. There it is, touchdown. Touchdown Tigers.
Yeah, and the Tigers have done a good job milking about 14 points out of this momentum, Jeff. It was just 4 straight short minutes ago. They were down 42-7, and the Buckeyes have helped them along the way by a long shot. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left here in the second quarter, Jeff, in halftime. Remember, the Buckeyes get the ball. Now it's pretty much imperative that the Buckeyes, Jeff, get possession. They do not have an extra man, 20 seconds now, and they don't know who's going to go in on the kickoff on the extra point team. They're looking around now, and
they're going to be forced to have to burn a timeout here.
Here comes 55 with 10 seconds. I'm not sure he's fast enough to get down
No,
and snap this ball.
They'll have to call a timeout or get a delay of game, surely. 2 seconds, 1 second, and that kick is up and good, but boy, you talk about it in the nick of time. That probably should have been a delay of game. But Tigers fighting their way back in round 5. 2 minutes and 56 seconds left to play in the first half. Gilmer leads 42-21. We'll be right back.
Did you know Gilmer High School has an FFA program? Of course you did. But did you know our FFA program is one of the best in the state of Texas? In fact, we regularly win awards on the national level. Not only do our students learn about welding and farming, But they also learn about public speaking, professionalism in the workplace, how to run a business, and how to be a contributing member of society. Our FFA program strives for excellence in everything we do.
All right, we are back in Prosper, Texas, where the Tigers just got back on the scoreboard. They have had 2 unanswered touchdowns here in the last few minutes of this game. They scored that one off of a fumble, and were able to capitalize that. That was about a 45-yard drive. Interesting point here. We talked about how the wind plays a factor. There's been 6 touchdowns scored with the wind, only 2 touchdowns against the wind here tonight. Shows you what a wind can do and how it plays into a game. Right now, Tigers have wind at their back. Short pooch kick in the middle of the field, takes a hop, number 7. Webb breaks 1 tackle and is going to be swarmed. That was a great kick as it was just placed in an open field and took a crazy bounce. And Buckeyes are going to come out 1st and 10 from their own 24 and see if they can take the next 2 minutes and 42 seconds to get another score. They would love to go up 49-21 in at the half.
Yeah, Jeff, and number 1's back in the game. You're going against the wind. You've seen what number 1 can do. All you got to do is give him a crease. Right now, the Buckeyes just need to be patient, move the chains, and execute on offense.
5-man rush coming from the Tigers. Here's the snap, handoff to Will Henderson, left side, nothing there. Will bounces to the right side and finds 7 good yards.
That's a good play. All 3 timeouts for the Buckeyes, 2:30. No rush, but imperative that the Buckeyes get points on this drive, preferably a touchdown, and stop some of this momentum that you've seen in the last 6 minutes from Glen Rose.
All right, 1 receiver left, 1 right. Here's the snap, handoff once again. Will got a little room to run, dives forward for the first down. That'll move the sticks and temporarily stop the clock to move. And we're at 2:08 and counting. Buckeyes getting set. They know they still have plenty of time to get downfield.
All 3 timeouts as well, Jeff. 2 minutes.
1 receiver left, 1 right. Henderson in the backfield. Handoff again to Henderson, this time coming on the left side.
Look out.
And he is cutting up field and wisely runs out of bounds after a 9-yard gain to stop the clock.
Yeah, just speed there from Will. As he is going to get a break here, and number 14 is going to...
Smith is due for a touchdown. It'd be fun to watch him run one from 58 yards out.
Yeah, let DeVay come in and kind of take Will's spot there. 1:48 seconds. Will did stop the clock, picked up of 7 good yards. 1st and 10, or 2nd and 3 for the Buckeyes from the 42.
2 receivers left, 1 right. Here's the snap. Quarterback keeper up the middle, lowers his head. Looked like a potential penalty there. I couldn't tell where he grabbed him. It looked like face mask. That's going to be a 1st down on the legs of Caden Tennyson. And the Buckeyes are going to take their first time out.
Aaron got smacked there. And we are 1:42, Jeff. 2 timeouts now left for the Buckeyes. And right now, Glen Rose has come out in the last 6 minutes and just taken over the second part of the third quarter, of the second quarter. And the Buckeyes kind of relax. You feel like you put up 42 points. You got a 42-7 lead. You kind of relax on a long drive, let Glen Rose score. Number 7, Brendan Webb, trying to make a play, fumbles the ball. You give it back to them. They get back in the end zone. Suddenly, they've cut the deficit in half, and it's 42-21. But you've got 1:42 left. You're 51 yards away. You got 2 timeouts, and for the Buckeyes, you got to stay calm. You got to execute, and you got to your point. You basically got 6 more quarters left in the season. It's time to be perfect. You said it perfectly. For this young Buckeye team, obviously we know what we're up against here with Glen Rose, a tough team, but there's no reason in the world right now that the Buckeyes should not relax, execute, and go stretch this lead out to 49-21, receiving the ball in the second half and then putting the pedal right back to the metal and then putting some nails in the coffin.
All right, 1:42 left to play in the first half. Gilmer 42, Glen Rose 21. Buckeyes have the ball. 1st and 10, here's the snap. Handoff, Smith, left side. Bounces out to the left side. Going to pick up big yards, gets the first down to the 40, to the 38.
stops the clock temporarily. Let's see if Dervay goes back into the game.
Yeah, he's going to stay.
Here comes Will.
Will's checking in. Got a minute 26. Clock is running.
Should not be running, by the way, and it is running.
Well, they've got the sticks moved, so they started the clock again. Tight set here by the Buckeyes. They're looking to show run once again. Here's the snap. Dropping back, looking to pass, and they have got a wide open Buckeye on the 7-yard line. That is number 7, Webb.
Brennan Webb.
And if you haven't seen that catch on film or on the Facebook where they put the scripture about being crushed and him catching it in the middle of 2 Carthage Bulldogs, that's one of the best pictures I've ever seen.
It's just sheer will that he came down with that football. Got a touchdown already tonight. Huge play there, brings up 1st and goal for the Buckeyes.
All right, Buckeyes, 48 seconds left. They hand off to Will, and they are going to stuff him there at the line of scrimmage. He may even went backwards a yard.
Coach Metzel gets a quick timeout here with 39 seconds left.
Yeah, they're managing the clock here. They're like, we're not giving it back to them after what happened last week. You know,
no.
We don't want to watch that again.
So that brings up 2nd and goal. Block missed up front. That kind of got Will some pressure. And then suddenly he was wearing 2 guys, so he could not have an opportunity to bounce that outside. But how about that catch for Brennan Webb, getting the Buckeyes down? Now, oddly enough,
you could just see that one setting up. You can see he was a yard ahead.
So B. Webb and Tarek are both in the same spot, which is not necessarily what is planned. The ball's thrown into the wind. I thought it was thrown to Tarek, who was open for really a touchdown, and it was short because it was thrown into the wind, and Webb acted like it was, I had this one all along. Made the catch inside the 10 to set the Buckeyes up 1st and goal. But with 36 seconds and now 1 timeout left, Jeff, the Buckeyes need to execute here, 2nd and goal from the 9. We need to get this into the end zone and pay dirt and look for the Buckeyes to try to do something wide, maybe throw it in the end zone once and create a 3rd down, but not something that you want to use your last time out on right here.
All right, Buckeyes on the 9. They're going for the end zone right here, and it is defended well by the Tigers. That pass was intended to Jeremiah Noble, and he went up for it aggressively, but the defender was just in the way of the ball. Yeah, he'd been thrown a little higher, he probably would have snagged that one.
Normally you want to throw that one up to number 3, Tarek Tate, who has got literally limitless ceiling in terms of how high he can go up to catch the ball. He is out with a safety over the top of him, and they're going to dare the Buckeyes to run the ball.
They're going to throw it down. They're going to throw it again. Nope, they're going to run a quarterback keeper, and look at Caden Tennyson lowering his head, getting down to the 4-yard line.
Now you got to call a timeout.
You got 21 seconds on the clock, and Buckeyes are going to.
We're going to milk it all the way down and kick a field goal.
You got 4th down. You're on the 4-yard line, and that's exactly what they're going to do is get this thing down to a couple of seconds, and then they're going to come in and send Mr. Automatic to the field and settle for 3 wisely.
Yeah, and wisely is correct. You hate to see that. I mean, you want to see the Buckeyes execute. I think there's going to be a lot talked about at halftime, Jeff, in terms of how this second quarter kind of ended.
Yeah, like what a poor job they've done this whole game, right?
Well, just in terms of, you said it best, Jeff. It's time to be perfect.
Yeah.
And when you've got a team like Glen Rose on the ropes, you got to throw the knockout punch.
I'll tell you what, if you'd have told me we were going to score 42 points in the first half of this game,
well, I did.
And we're 3 points and we're 3 points underdog, I'll call you crazy, but I'm extremely pleased with what I've seen here. I love the scheme. I love what they've done. They got a little momentum, got a couple of points. We saw that against Sunnyvale, you remember? 3 touchdowns in 4 minutes or something like that, and we've seen it, but the Buckeyes will put their foot on the pedal in this second half and hopefully put the nail in the coffin. Here's the kick right through the middle of the uprights, and it is good for another 3, and Pate has just been automatic all year long. So that's going to take the score 45-21. Gilmer leads. That is the end of the first half, and we're going to go to a commercial break. Be back with statistics and the first half performances right after this.
What's the biggest myth about interscholastic performing arts? That you have to be the most talented or experienced to participate. The truth is, anyone can be a part of their school's performing arts. There are countless opportunities for students to participate, from theater, choir, and band to speech and debate. The bottom line, if you want to perform, there's a place for you.
This message presented by the NFHS and the UIL.
Like all our other programs at Gilmer High School, our theater program continually performs at the highest level, making deep runs in the UIL one-act competition. Under the leadership of Mr. Ben Patrick and Mrs. Hannah Barnes, theater is a year-long commitment as they not only prepare for one act in the spring, but also deliver stellar musicals like Beauty and the Beast in the fall. Stay tuned for their next production.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day, interscholastic sports in Texas. This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Embarking on the journey of culinary arts offers a rich tapestry of benefits. Beyond mastering the art of creating exquisite dishes, culinary students gain essential life skills such as teamwork, discipline, and time management. The kitchen becomes a canvas for creativity, fostering innovation and adaptability. Students develop an understanding of diverse cultures through the exploration of global cuisines. Gilmer High School students develop a strong work ethic and resilience, preparing them not only for a rewarding career in the culinary world, but also for success in various aspects of life.
The Stars welcome the Christmas holidays with a beautiful new routine to Santa's Parade. Buckeye fans, on your feet as the Stars kick to the Gilmer fight song. Ladies and gentlemen, Gilmer Independent School District is proud to present one of the most decorated military marching bands in Texas, the pride of Upshur County, the four-time UIL state finalist, Gilmer Buckeye Band. And now we feature the GHS Majorettes as they perform a total routine to the Journey hit, Don't Stop Believin'. The Gilmer Band Majorette. It's time, Gilmer fans. Get on your feet and help the Buckeye Band support our football team all the way to a state championship. Let's go, Bucks! The Gilmer SV Bands are directed by Eric Gray, Brandon Norman, Chris Witt, Sarah Thompson, and Haley Cobb. Major sponsor is Allison Logan. Thank you for your attention to all tonight's halftime performances. And let's go Buckeyes!
Aaron Bell, senior, fullback, middle linebacker.
Will Henderson, senior, running back and quarterback.
Elias Castillo, senior, inside linebacker, fullback.
Jamar Bird, 2024, receiver and corner. Hey, let's get it.
Terry Tate, senior, wide receiver and DB.
Damari Hackett, senior, number 5. Hey, we out here.
Connor Dodd, senior, wide receiver and safety.
Brendan Webb, junior, receiver, DB. Alex Sims, junior, running back, outside linebacker.
Jaden Edmond, senior, quarterback, free safety.
Caden Tennyson, class of 2025, quarterback.
Taj Manson, junior, receiver, DB.
Jeremiah Noble, junior, outside linebacker, receiver.
Dervay Smith, senior, running back, and outside linebacker.
Micah Easley, junior, wide receiver, safety. Let's roll it.
Harrison Lofton, senior, outside linebacker, hooker.
Grayson Bates, fullback, inside linebacker.
Jordan Escalante, junior, quarterback, outside backer. Bentley Trainer, receiver and corner.
Will Gross, senior, inside receiver, cornerback. Go Bucks.
Amari Morton, junior, receiver, DB.
Jason Merrill, junior, running back, outside linebacker. Atavian Prom Hector, sophomore, running back, and safety.
Kobe Webb, senior, receiver, outside backer.
Devin McDonald, sophomore, middle linebacker, fullback.
Daedrian Jimerson, junior, running back, corner.
Nick Zimmerman, senior, fullback, linebacker.
Luke Hollyfield, senior, fullback, middle linebacker. Mason Denton, junior, middle linebacker and fullback.
Brady Pate, junior, outside linebacker.
Jerry Dean, junior, middle linebacker.
Nehemiah Henderson, senior, inside linebacker, fullback.
Leno Diaz, senior, fullback, inside linebacker.
I'm senior, Doyle, junior, running back, corner.
Noah Connets, junior, wide receiver, cornerback.
Max Walker, junior, wide receiver, safety.
Cameron Brown, senior, D-line.
Hudson Wynn, junior, D-line.
Jeff Bates, sophomore, offensive line, defensive line. Justin Jones, senior, inside backer, and wide receiver.
Pregame Hill, senior, defensive end and tight end.
Tyler Hagler, sophomore, O-line, D-line.
Ezekiel Aguilar, senior, O-line, D-line.
Justin Anderson, offensive line, defensive line.
Alex again, junior, O-line, D-line.
Ryan Andrews, junior, O-line, D-line.
Senior, Sean Wallace, offensive line, D-line, number 55. Nathan McVicker, O-line, D-line, sophomore.
Aiden Summers, O-line, D-line, junior, 2025.
Spencer Murphy, senior, O-line, D-line. Chance Walker, sophomore, O-line, D-line. My name is Terrence Wahim. I'm a junior. I play offensive line and defensive line.
Felipe Rocha, I'm a junior. I play offensive line and defensive line.
Hunter Burney, O-line, D-line, I'm a junior.
Lucas Cano, junior, O-line, D-line.
My name is Fernando Delgado, I'm a junior, and I play D-line.
Gerald Pilcher, senior, offensive line.
Logan Thornley, I'm a junior. I play inside receiver and outside linebacker.
And we're back here where the Gilmer Buckeyes have a commanding 45-21 lead over Glen Rose at the half. This score was 42-7 just halfway through the second quarter. The Buckeyes with a few little mental lapses and a turnover, and Glen Rose, being the great team that they are, converted 14 quick points before the Buckeyes, with about 2 minutes left, went all the way down the field, got into the first and goal, and were turned away after a couple of incomplete passes, converted a Braden Pate field goal, and now lead 45-21. The Buckeyes will receive to start the second half. A couple of halftime statistics that we got for you guys. Leading rusher Will the Tomahawk Henderson, 11 carries for 122 yards and 2 touchdowns, all in the first half. 76 of those coming on one single play. Gilmer, 4 of 7 for 86 yards passing and a touchdown. Glen Rose, 12 for 22 for 168 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. We talked about their ability to throw the football. They'll do that about 75% of the time, and once again, they held true to form. About 80% of those passes were all within 10 yards. It is truly their running game in that West Coast offense that they run. Just having a hard time matching up with the firepower of the Buckeyes. 26 rushes for the Buckeyes for 240 total yards and 4 touchdowns. Just dominating on the ground. Great job by the offensive line. For Glen Rose, 18 for 69 with 2 touchdowns. The Buckeyes ran 33 total plays for 326 yards, and that is almost an average of 10 yards per play. For Glen Rose, they ran 40 plays for 237 yards. Glen Rose turned it over twice. The Buckeyes turned it over once. 3 penalties for 30 yards for Gilmer. For Glen Rose, 2 penalties for 20 yards. It is a 21-7 lead for Belleville down in Pflugerville as they are squaring off against Wimberley. And that is the kind of ground war that we expected to see between that big, strong Belleville Brahmas slot T team and the Wimberley Texans, who have seen their share of slot T teams really kind of trying to slow down that rushing attack. They've got 3 backs in Belleville that have all gone for over 1,000 yards this season. But here in Prosper at the Prosper Independent School District Stadium, such a wonderful stadium that we've got here, the Buckeyes have a 45-21 lead. From a matchup standpoint, just a real challenge coming into the second half for Glen Rose. They are obviously down big at the half. They will kick off to start the second half to the Buckeyes and give the Buckeyes the ball, but only 35 guys dressed out for Glen Rose. So they've been playing very, very deep into the playoffs with multiple guys going both ways. So they're going to have to do that to try to reach down. They're going to have to flip the field here on a couple of occasions to get some turnovers. They've only managed 1 against the Buckeyes, but they also gave up a special teams touchdown, a Jeremiah Noble 80-plus yard return for a touchdown that really kind of counts as a turnover. The field position here is played going into the wind. So the Buckeyes are going to go with the wind and receive the ball in the second half here. And for the Buckeyes, pretty important that they dominate this third quarter and get a couple of those scores back. They had kind of put things out of reach. Glen Rose is going to run out of time here if the Buckeyes can come and score on a couple of possessions here and stretch this out to, a multiple 4 or 5 score lead. Just not enough time in possessions, and the Buckeyes will punch their ticket to AT&T for the 3rd time in 4 years and take on the winner of Belleville and Wimberley, and we will be checking that score as we go. So exciting first half of football. The Buckeyes coming out and doing what they expected to do. We knew that this was going to kind of be a matchup problem for the Glen Rose Tigers, especially with the speed of the Buckeyes. We saw Will Henderson on a 76-yard touchdown sprint that just showed off how electric he can be. A touchdown pass from Caden Tennyson to Brennan Webb, and the weapons on full display for the Buckeyes, putting up 45 points here in the first half, and had an opportunity with 1st and goal to end the half there and go up 49-21, but instead settle for a Braden Pate field goal. And for the Buckeyes, it is all about execution now. They want to stay healthy going into what they hope is their third appearance in the state championship game in 4 short years, and getting ready for the juggernaut that's coming at them, whether that be Wimberley or Belleville, which is a different matchup altogether.
Yeah, looking at 21-14 and going into the half, Belleville leading.
Yeah, and probably Wimberley getting the ball to start the second half. And we knew that Jeff, we talked about it all year. When the playoffs come around, it's about matchups. And you can see the Buckeyes from Region 2, which is generally, one of the most athletic regions that are in Texas high school football. And then you see, kind of that monster region down in Region 3, the Houston Golden Triangle region in Belleville. If they win and the Buckeyes face them next week, we will talk about how the field literally tilts when they come on it, because they've got some absolute monsters there in Belleville. They run that vaunted slot T, but Wimberley giving them all that they want at this point, and the Buckeyes just a couple of possessions left from kind of putting things away. What you want to see, Jeff, is some concentration and execution. As you said, I think perfectly, I'm going to quote you on this about 9 times for the rest of the year. We only got 6 quarters left, and it's time to be perfect.
Yeah, it really does. And this is what, our coaching staff is saying. Hey, guys, don't look at the scoreboard. Anything can, first of all, happen. We've seen ball games flip before. Don't get comfortable. And then they're also looking at it and saying, guys, this is also, if you get out of here with the win tonight, this is also a great time against a great team to get some good, needed reps for what you would be facing the following week. And again, not sure which of those 2 powerhouses you might face should you win this game tonight. But both of them are quite capable. I'm really pleased with what I've seen from the Buckeyes. The last 4 games we've played, they have been peaking at just the right time. Tommy Edwards, the defensive adjustments they have made in the last 4 games is what's put us here in this round 5. I'm going to tell you that. We've always had an explosive offense all year long. We've had those weapons in place, and they've played at a high level all year long, putting up, in fact, more yards this year than any time in school history other than 1985 team.
And that's saying something.
And that's saying something. And breaking all the touchdown record, Will Henderson, most yards rushed, Will Henderson. Tarek Tate's got records. Caden's got records. So offense has been great. Defense has been the key so far. Ball takes a bounce at the 22-yard line. Right side, look at this. Webb finds a seam, runs into the back of his own man, runs into Braden Bates there about the 44-yard line. And that is going to be, again, as we said in the first half, starting off with really good field position.
Really good return there by Brendan Webb. Glen Rose goes to that kind of pooch kick to the middle of the field. Buckeyes ready for it, execute well on special teams, set up 1st and 10 from their own 43. And once again, Jeff, going into the wind here, it's time to execute for these Buckeye offense.
Okay, 2 receivers, wide to the left, 1 to the right. First offensive set is going to be the Buckeyes. Handoff. Will Henderson cuts back to the right side. What vision, and he is going to take this to the house. First play at the line of scrimmage. Buckeyes are on the board, and did you see the cut? Watch this on the instant replay. Hopefully they'll pull it up. And watch this cut to the right side where he sees a hole and all the way to the house.
3rd touchdown of the night for Will Henderson. The drive could not go any better. Hand it to number 1. Let him do what number 1 can do. And when he hits the Jets, folks, it's just not fair. It is truly one of the fastest 18-year-olds on the planet. And when he hits the afterburners, there's just a wake.
Well, we've said this all year. You watched, he had 3 guys running at an angle. And you always just want to yell down there, your angle's not correct. All right, here's the extra point attempt by Pate, number 32, and that is right through the uprights after a great hold by Will Gross. And a nice snap there by Bates. So Buckeyes now.
17 seconds, Jeff, into the 3rd quarter, and the Buckeyes stretch this to 51-21 is the lead. And, Jeff, that's exactly the start that you want to see and exactly what we talked about from the top of the show, that this is just a bad matchup as number 1 Will Henderson just running a wind sprint.
Yeah, and you saw last week when he made the interception, it went all over Facebook. That was called back, said he stepped out of bounds, but in fact he did not. as we got a close-up. Somebody was smart enough to go get the film, zoom it in.
I don't know how you're
put
fast
it all
enough
over
to make
Facebook.
your thumb go that
well,
fast.
I don't blame the rep. His legs were moving so fast. Who could see that, right? It was like a millimeter inside, but that would have been another touchdown that we had called back, unfortunately.
Well,
And,
I'll say this for Will the Tomahawk Henderson. I'm so glad he's on our team.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And if you're a defensive coordinator and you're trying to plan for that every week,
You can't.
I
Sorry.
mean, what do? You're like, oh well, we'll put everybody on the box on him. Well, have you heard of Tarek Tate? Here's the kickoff. It is a high, long pooch kick, 17-yard line. They fake the little reverse. He finds a nice running lane, gets up past the 30-yard line to the 32, and so they are going to set up shop 1st and 10 on their own 32-yard line.
And let's see if the Buckeye defense, now in this very first drive, it takes all of 17 seconds for Will Henderson to flip the scoreboard over 50 now for the Buckeyes. 54-yard touchdown run for Will. That gives him 175 yards on the night with 3 touchdowns, and we are 17 seconds into the third quarter. Now it's up to the Black Flag to see if they can get a stop or two and start applying some nails in the coffin.
Yeah, Tiger offense has been efficient. They're going back to the run game, and they hand off. And, of course, Tommy Edwards made lots of adjustments and probably did a lot of screaming at halftime. And he's still in that front group. No more run. And so they are quick to get on top of that as they hand off down there to number 20.
And maybe a half-yard gain there to get the Glen Rose Tigers into 2nd and long. 2 backs in the backfield. Watch for motion here, and they'll try to hit the motion guy. That's number 3 in the backfield.
All right, they're coming hard and almost block that when they drop it. Number 3, that's very uncharacteristic of him to drop. He is their best player by far, and he just drops that one straight out. He heard footsteps.
Yeah, very much, and it was very well covered. Jeremiah Noble and Brendan Webb both get out there, both excellent athletes. Brings up 3rd and long for Glen Rose. Down 52-21, Jeff, you might actually have to punt the football here just to kind of say, look, we got to at least give ourselves a challenge here for the Buckeye offense. But if they can pick up 4 or 5 yards here, expect them to go for it on 4th down.
All right, 2 receivers wide to the left, 1 to the right. Feeling desperate, they're going to fake the handoff and forced to quickly throw it away as we had heavy pressure coming from the outside by number 13, Jeremiah Noble. And that is going to be a turnover. They're going to have to come out and actually punt as they only gained a half a yard in that entire series. Nice job there by the Buckeyes.
Yeah, and just like the start of the game, Jeff, in the first 2 minutes, absolute domination offensively, absolute domination defensively, and now you got to punt it to number 3, Tarek Tate. We call him Sundays around here because he's got that kind of talent.
Yeah, standing on his own 40-yard line. And
wow,
again,
that's a bad punt.
Bad punt. And he is yelling, get away from it. And that punt takes a Buckeye bounce for about a yard. And so great field position. That has been the story of the night tonight. Buckeyes are setting up camp 1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line. And that electric offense coming back on the field to continue practice and putting points on the board. I want to remind everybody, we were picked 3-point underdog in this game tonight by Big Skin Prep.
Let's don't talk about the prognosticators. We talked about that enough, but obviously they're not quite sure.
Handoff Will, left side, breaking tackles, big run, 15 yards plus some, and finally brought down. And that is going to be a 15-yard game. Moves the chains again now into Tiger territory out to the 40-yard line. 39 will be the spot.
Yeah, and you're not that fast when you're not that strong as well. You can't generate that kind of explosive speed. And you see Will just move the pile another 6 yards inside the 40. 1st and 10, Buckeyes with 10:26 left in the third quarter.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Henderson in the backfield. From the shotgun, here's the snap. Handoff, Henderson finds a hole, lowers his head, refuses to go down, dragging people with him, and that is good for about 8 yards.
Wow. At some point, Jeff, I'm not sure I don't want to see Will on the sideline. I mean,
I thought the same thing a while ago. It's like, I didn't want to say it out loud, but you kind of like, all right, let's check Smith into the game and
prepare for AT&T.
That's right. Handoff again, Will around the left side, easily picking up the first down. Forced out of bounds around the 25.
Moving the chains. once again, and here comes Dervay just like, hey, you know what? Coach Metzel might listen to us after all.
No, he's not. Trust me. He's just resting him. He's not going to listen. In fact, I'm convinced that Coach Metzel has he listens to us in one ear, and he's like, whatever they call, do the opposite.
Do the opposite.
Yeah. And I don't blame him. Trips right. Hand off to Smith, left side. And the Buckeyes, content to leave this ball on the ground and run clock, right? We're down to 9:15 on the clock, and they are content to just drive the ball, get first downs,
run it till the end
clock.
zone hits or the clock hits 0. That is the objective right now for these Buckeyes, as they've got a commanding 52-21 lead, driving once again inside the 25.
How many yards did you say Will had in this game?
175, and that was before the last couple of runs.
All right, handoff around the right side. Nice check up there by Webb. Look at him finding lanes. Ridiculous how he's just weaving through traffic. And we got flags on the play on top of it. And so that's going to be tack on a little bit more.
Yeah, half the distance to the goal is, we'll call that the Top Gun move, as Brendan Webb rolls out to the right side and he says, I'm going to hit the brakes and they'll fly right by me. And that's exactly what they do. And they grab his face mask, and that's going to be half the distance.
Man, they were trying to grab for anything. I don't blame him. He was.
Yeah, he's so elusive.
He was slippery.
That is going to create.
He has such good vision downfield. He can see the defenders.
It's in the genes.
Man,
I'm telling you,
he is something.
I will never tire of seeing Webbs and Smiths and Tennysons and and Hendersons coming through the ranks here for the Buckeyes. First down and goal inside the 5-yard line for these Buckeyes. Let's give it to number 14 right here and put some more points on the board.
All right, here comes the snap. Handoff to Smith. And he just lowers his head, gets down to probably the 1-yard line on that carry, and he has just been such a tough runner. You see him lean forward and drive those legs, and he can run into a brick wall and still convinced he can push it over.
Yeah, I love Dervay. He is such a great kid.
All right, they're going to try it one more time, and look at this defensive stance. No, Dervay finds a way in. Touchdown. Dervay Smith, he was due one, and he got one in this Game 5 playoff game. It's hard to believe this season is this deep already.
Yeah, 58-21. Buckeyes take a commanding lead with 8:07 still left to play in the third quarter, Jeff. And at some point when you're Glen Rose, you got to kind of say, you know what, Uncle, such a proud tradition and such a great football team, so young, only 9 seniors on this squad. The Glen Rose Tigers were in this game last year, and for these youngsters to start 1-4 and come back and make it all the way to the 5th round is absolutely something to be proud of if you're from Glen Rose.
Extra point is good by Pate once again, and so that makes it 59-21. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back after these messages.
Please join Jeff Rash and Alan Metzel each Monday morning for the Gilmer Buckeyes Coaches Show. Every week, Jeff and Alan discuss elements of the program, speak with special guests, give player updates, review key plays from the prior week, and give insights on the opponent for the current week. As a fan, this is your chance to go into the locker room and behind the scenes. To view the Coaches Show, go to GilmerBuckeyes.com and click on the Coaches Show button. Go Buckeyes!
And we are back in Prosper, Texas, and the moonlight shines bright on the Gilmer Buckeyes tonight. 8:07 left to play in the third quarter, and it is 59-21. We're going to bring you a score update on the Wimberley-Belleville game here momentarily, kind of see where they are. Here is the kickoff. It is a high pooch kick to the left side. They're going to kick this one out of bounds around the 22-yard line.
So one of the few errors made by number 32, missed an extra point tonight. This is the time to miss one. I'm glad he got that out of his system tonight. Following the Buckeyes' 56-yard, 6-play drive, all on the ground, capped off by the touchdown by Dervay Smith. Score is...
Yeah, still 21 Belleville, 14 Wimberley. And that is a good football game going down there. I mean, that is two good
Jeff,
teams
I hope
battling
they
it out.
117 overtimes and get done sometime Wednesday morning.
I hope they're tired for 2 weeks. That's exactly right. One receiver to the right, 3 to the left with a back in the backfield from the shotgun, they send motion. Dropping back, quick pass, and they executed extremely well. Big yards over here, number 3 on the reception, forced out of bounds around the 44-yard line. I thought they were going to throw a flag there. I thought I saw a face mask, and I was like, oh.
That was a hold. They tackled number 21 Horton out here on a block. I don't know if we'll see a replay, but the official's not going to throw a flag.
Yeah, he's not going to throw it.
It's 59-21. The clock will continue to run at this point.
Yeah.
They are not going to throw a flag and stop anything, but that's just one of those ways that you just know number 3 is going to get the ball.
Yeah, 2 receivers right, 2 left, motion by number 24, the big tight end. And now we have trip receivers to the right. Dropping back, looking to pass. Quarterback so poised, forced out of the pocket, running for the sideline, and knocked out of bounds by Bell at the 45. And Tigers are wanting a flag on that, but he hit him on the green.
Yeah, and
so it's legit.
If Aaron Bell would have followed through, he would be in the 3rd row at this point because Aaron is so strong. He just wanted to bench press him. That was a love tap by number 0 to pick up 2 yards on that play, bring up 2nd down and 8 from their own 45.
2 receivers right, 1 left. Now they have 2 backs in the backfield. Number 3 and number 24 in the backfield.
Here comes motion.
Motion from 3 to the right side. Here's the snap. Wanted to do a quick pass. They're setting up that screen again, and this time they overthrow it, and it was broken up by number 16, Lofton, who came out of his linebacker position, read that extremely well, and broke it up.
Yeah, 3rd down and long now, maybe 4th down territory, no matter what now for Glen Rose. 59-21 once again, Buckeyes lead, and we're not even halfway through the 3rd quarter. I'd kind of predicted, Jeff, and told some folks that I thought it was going to be 62-28. I kind of expected that kind of game. But right now I'm not sure how the Buckeyes
Well, nobody likes a bragger.
I'm thinking there's no way we're going to just hold it to 62.
Well, you're probably right. Long pass to the other side of the field, forced out of bounds by Bird. Going to be about a yard short of the 1st down.
And definitely going to go for it. Watch for 24 here, Jeff. They've been so effective in that Wildcat, bringing 24 in at quarterback, and he just allows the cross block, and he just runs right up the middle.
He is nearly a guarantee on it.
Yeah, he's averaged about 6 yards, and Aaron Bell has played a lot of defense tonight, but here it comes. He's in the Wildcat, and here it comes right at you.
All right, they're going to fake that handoff, and he lowers his head. It's going to be close this time. Buckeyes got in there.
No, he stopped them. They stopped them.
And look at this. I think they did. Look at that. Stopped them by a yard, and Buckeyes are going to get the ball, turnover on downs. Nice stop. First time tonight they've been able to stop that.
First time. And great concentration by the Buckeye defense, turning it back over. And for the offense now, here comes Will Henderson. And somebody give me the telephone to send Alan a text. At this point, 59-21.
Well, they're sending him wide out. They're going to do that diamond set. Now, we've been running some
quarterback
draws from this.
Yeah, 24 sees it coming too.
They got a 3-man rush. Now they're going to dump it this time to Henderson. He finds a little seam, driving his legs forward as he does. Gets down to about the 47-yard line. That's a nice pickup.
And Jeff,
keep the clock running.
Don't underestimate right now too that Coach Metzel is just saying, look, there's some things that we're going to execute live with game speed, and we're just going to try to work here because you know that the 4 quarters in front of you at AT&T are going to mean the season.
All right, handoff. Henderson left side finds a gap, easily picking up the 1st down, and keeps the clock running. 6:33 left to play in the 3rd quarter.
Adding to his total, I think now Will is close to 200 yards rushing on the night in 2.5 quarters.
Yeah, we knew he would probably have a big game tonight based on the defensive set.
Already. Yeah.
But nobody saw at this point 59-21 coming, except you, and you say it at every game we play, so it doesn't count for you.
The blind squirrel finds it out every once in a while.
That's right. Number 1, handoff up the middle again, and that is good for 4 yards. And again, it's all about clock management from here on out for the Buckeyes. Run the clock.
And let's get 14 into the game as he does right now.
Get out of here safely.
Yes, let's get some of our backups in. Keep everybody healthy. It's going to be a huge week of preparation next week, and I hope Wimberley and Belleville going to quadruple overtime.
All right, pass is complete to number 7, Brandon Webb, at the 23-yard line. Nice catch by Brandon. I can't say enough about Webb and how he has come on.
Think, Jeff, it is barely 100 days ago. We're talking about number 7 coming into his own against the Kilgore Bulldogs, and look where he's come from since then.
He got first rate, should be a Division I prospect for sure. He is the real deal. 2 receivers right, 2 left for the Buckeyes. Empty backfield. Quarterback draw up the middle. He finds the seam, cuts back inside, gets down to the 13-yard line. Nice run there by Caden Tennyson.
Caden moves the chains and dives down. How about that? You think it hadn't been practiced this week?
Yeah.
I got to tell that story.
Hey,
So
let me tell you something. That was. If you see the end zone, I don't care if everybody falls down and lets you run through. If you see the end zone, you're trained to go for it. Your brain just doesn't want to do anything but score there. So I would have probably done the same thing. 2 receivers left, 1 right. They go to the air, to the corner, and that is a touchdown by Eric Tate. What a great catch, as he has to turn his body all the way around to reel that one in. And to Eric, with that vertical ability, I think he can
so
slam
athletic.
A basketball with 2 feet to spare.
I'm telling you, he is so athletic, guys. Probably pound for pound one of the most talented athletes that we have ever produced, and that is really saying something. To Eric Tate is going to be a big-time college player, and don't count him out for playing on Sundays. He's got that kind of talent. Goes up and makes a huge touchdown catch, stretch this lead to 65-21. Extra point left to come.
Here's the hole by Will Gross. Kick is up and right through the middle by that wasn't Pate there, I think. That was number 29 in kicking now. We want to give credit where it's due. That was Zamaron.
Taking a point for the career. Now let's talk a little bit, Jeff, about that great game, historic win that happened. Even Coach Alan Metzel said, hey, it's the biggest win of his career as the head coach.
And which one are you talking about?
Carthage last week.
I don't. Could you say it one more time?
That Carthage victory in overtime
I just like the sound of it. Sorry, I wanted you to repeat it again.
Let me tell you, I will wake up in the middle of the night and have to remind myself that we really won that game. After all the nightmarish experiences.
I drove my friends nuts this week with it. Everybody did.
Let them have it. We're going to turn into homers, and we're sorry. But, of course, what a great program Carthage has. But I will tell this story. When I went down on the field, the very first thing that Caden Tennyson said to me was, I know. He knew it the second that he crossed into the goal line. You saw him throw his hands up, turn around, and say, ooh, I should have slid down. He understood it, and trust me, that is a lesson because we got 1 more year left on his contract after this year.
All right, there's a high pooch kick. They called for a fair catch and drop it, but they are able to pick it up, and they're going to set up shop on about the 27 or 28-yard line here. And you got to feel at this point, man, what do? You're down 66-21 with 4:33 in the third, and you are going to try to make something happen here.
That was a 47-yard drive there by the Buckeyes, 5 first downs, all on the ground with that one exception, that first down pass out to Brendan Webb. And the Buckeyes with 4:33 left to play here in the third quarter, an absolute commanding lead. And right now you just want to get this clock rolling and get this game over with, Jeff.
1 receiver to the right, 2 to the left. They hand off up the middle, number 20. And Buckeyes stop him after a gain of about 5. Defense has played extremely well tonight. And again, obviously last week they've just played out of their minds. I love the coach's strategy in that game, both offensively and defensively. It was just perfect. Perfect strategy. I mean, they called a perfect game. If there ever is such a thing, it was last week. Handoff, once again, number 20 bounces out effectively to the left, cuts back to the right side, and he is brought down by number 16. I believe that was Lofton again. He's had several big plays in this game tonight so far.
And I'll take the chains moving as long as the clock keeps moving as well. Under 4 minutes now in the third quarter.
Lofton has been he's had a pick six in a few games. You know, a few games ago he's been a big effective player in that linebacker position this year. Buckeyes stopped the run at the line of scrimmage on that one. It's going to be 2nd and 10.
And they're still in their own territory. These Glen Rose Tigers have fought valiantly and really put such a great run together to kind of march through their region. They're the region champs in Region 1. and just kind of ran into a buzzsaw here tonight.
All right, we got a blitz coming. They're coming hard and forced him to throw it a little early, but very effectively as they throw a little post pattern there covered by Morton. And that is a nice catch there by number 1 to move the chains for the Tigers.
Yeah, really good coverage, but just a great
he was
pass
all
and
over
a
him,
great
yeah.
catch.
Yeah.
And with pressure. I mean, that's a hard thing to do when you've got Buckeyes coming from the left-hand side. Move the chains into Buckeye territory, 1st and 10 from the 43.
All right, here's the snap. Quarterback drops back, looking to hit a little out route, and that is Morton is looking back, sees the ball coming, and I thought he was fixing to make a play for the ball.
Yeah, he kind of stopped on his coverage.
Yeah, he stopped, and I was thinking, okay, he's going to go for this, and number 1 effectively able to pull it down.
Yeah, there was kind of a baiting going on with number 13. With number 3, he had a wheel route coming out of the backfield, and he threw it to the right person.
All right, Rock dropping back, looking to pass. Quarterback's going to run it, and he is going to run out of bounds, forced out of bounds by Dodd around the 7-yard line.
And Dodd coming up to make the tackle.
That's just a couple of yards short of the first down. 2nd and 1.
Inside the 10, Jeff, that is right. They can pick up a first down at the 5.
All right, dropping back, firing a bullet to the corner of the end zone, and touchdown. Are they saying nope? Yep, touchdown. I think he caught it right there in the corner as they like the matchup over here with Morton. And they're fighting trying to get back in this game. 27.
A whole quarter left to play, Jeff, and that's what, again, you saw the Buckeyes do this in the 3rd quarter, kind of, have some mental lapses on defense. They obviously picked on our left corner over here on that drive and managed to put it in the end zone. Kick is up.
Snap. Buckeyes got a hand on it, but I think it made it through
Still
anyway.
got through.
Yeah.
66-28 now with essentially 14 minutes and 4 seconds left to play in this game. And the clock is the Buckeyes' ally. They want to run the football and run the clock. And, Jeff, let's check on the score one more time before we have our...
Yeah, it was 21-14, had been since halftime. We're going to pull it up right quick and look at it.
28-14 Belleville.
28-14, so Belleville's extending their lead.
Belleville stretches the lead over Wimberley, and they've got that vaunted defense there that has been ranked 2nd only behind Carthage as the Buckeye offense, obviously very capable of scoring pretty much against anybody in the state, but for right now it looks like Belleville has the edge. The one thing, Jeff, I like about playing Belleville is the Brahmas. They are the biggest, most physical team that the Buckeyes will have seen since Pleasant Grove for sure. But offensively, they run the slot T. So it is 100% run, and it's either to the left or to the right in 3 different places. Kind of makes them one-dimensional. Connor Dodd shared with me this week that that is one thing that they do want to do.
A little short kick down the middle, fielded by number 3, Tate, who steps out of bounds at the 40-yard line. So once again, Buckeyes take over. Good field position. Shout out to Arkansas, Ernest Flippo. He was a 23-year Gilmer resident, now residing in Arkansas, listening to the Buckeyes. Once you're a Buckeye fan, doesn't matter where you go, does it? How many countries do we have normally listen to this broadcast, Eric? It's like 20?
Yeah.
It's like 20 countries. Isn't that unbelievable? People get up in the middle of the night to listen to Buckeye broadcast.
It is
I like
such
Buckeyes,
a cool thing.
but I don't know if I can get up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I've done it on many occasions to listen to you for sure, Jeff, while I'm traveling, and it just makes your week go better when the Buckeyes do what the Buckeyes do.
Handoff up the middle. Smith lowers his head. May be good for about 3 yards on that carry. But, again, what we are most interested in is just running that clock.
Yeah, that's the one thing that we want to do is keep the chains moving. 1:43 to play here in this 3rd quarter as the Buckeyes taking all of the play clock that they possibly can. There's 25 more seconds on that play clock. The Buckeyes want to use all of it.
All right, they send Tarek Tate wide to the left, Webb wide to the right. Smith is still in the backfield. Hand off to Smith. And he breaks one free. Up the middle he goes, finally tripped up as he crosses midfield all the way out to the 44-yard line. And that is just a really nice run there by Smith. He breaks those every once in a while.
He does.
I thought he might be doing it right there.
Because he just keeps the legs churning and keeps it going. And more importantly, moves the chains, flips the field down. 1st and 10 Buckeyes from the Glen Rose 45-yard line. And I think we'll need one more play to run out this third quarter, flip it around and go with the wind and set sail for AT&T.
One receiver left and right. Handoff, Smith up the middle. Again, fighting for yardage, gets another 3. Want to say hello to my next-door neighbor, Lori Helpenstill. She is listening from Austin, Texas, and she's listening with some friends of hers tonight, Brenda and Diane, so we're glad those Buckeye fans are still listening.
So 222 yards is what Joe Dodd just tells us for number 1. Will Henderson, 3 touchdowns.
How many yards for Will?
222.
222. What a slacker.
In 2.5 quarters.
Yeah, I hope he's done for the night. Hand off to Smith. Little confusion in the backfield, and Smith is going to lose about 7 yards on that carry as we had a little bobble on the handoff. And but most importantly, that is the end of the third quarter, folks. Unbelievably, Gilmer 66, Glen Rose 28. And I'll tell you what, we're calling the Belleville-Wimberley score, 28-14, good game going on down there. I'll assure you they're doing the same thing down there this game, and people are going, ooh.
Let's take a quick time out and be right back after these messages.
At Gilmer High School, we offer a well-rounded educational experience for our students. With the best teachers in the state of Texas, we prepare our students for the world with high-quality academic studies, first-class extracurricular studies, and other unique opportunities. A man once said, "The Buckeyes win at everything." That we do. From UIL academic competitions, FFA competitions, band, theater, and sports, that's right. We even have an award-winning barbecue team. The Buckeyes strive for excellence in everything we do.
We are back in Prosper, Texas, where Todd Robinson predicted a 62-28 victory tonight. At the beginning of the game, we have it on tape, blah, 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 blah. I got to give you the credit, man. I didn't see this one coming. I thought we'd win big. I thought 3 or 4 touchdowns for sure, but I didn't see 66-28. One more quarter to play, as Todd's head won't be able to fit in the car on the way home tonight, maybe in the back of a truck. But 1 quarter left to play. Hey, Buckeyes 66-28.
I will ride in the back of the truck as long as all these Buckeyes finish this game healthy, and
yes,
we go to AT&T next week healthy and playing our best football.
That is exactly right, and they are peaking at the right time. Dropping back to pass and sacked for the first time tonight, number 15 for the Tigers, and he drops Caden Tennyson in his tracks. That's going to back us up about 10 yards, and that means the Buckeyes are going to punt.
Yeah, let the clock run, and let's punt this football. We will go get in their way for another 12 minutes. I am happy to be way wrong with the score prediction as long as the clock continues to drip down to 0 left in this game, and we can punch our ticket.
High snap and blocked. That was the first time this year that it was blocked. Number 4 came sailing around the end. I think that's the same guy that nearly got a field goal block over there. That guy's quick coming around the corner, and he gets the block, and they're going to get the ball on the 31-yard line of the Buckeyes, and that is a great heads-up play by the Tigers.
A real great heads-up play by Braden Pate, who just crawled over and covered the ball.
Yeah.
And prevented number 4, who knew he blocked it, from kind of recovering and picking up and running that down. This is
first block punt that we've had this year.
It is, and just another.
Well, I say that we had roughing the kick passer. Didn't we do like 3 punts
3 in a row
against Aubrey?
Yeah, 3 in a row. Just one that some young Buckeyes getting some playing time are going to learn from for sure. But right now, this defense just needs to grind this game out.
All right, handoff number 22, and they are going to drop him. First time we've seen him carry the ball tonight, they're going to drop him for a 6-yard loss, maybe 5.
Yeah, and
now I think they're playing some backups. They're bringing some backups too, because they know this is probably the last game of the year, obviously, and I think they're just going to put in seniors and just yield here tonight. Here's the snap, dropping back, rolling to his right, quarterback tosses it out, wide out to number 3, headed down the sideline all the way down to about the 12-yard line before being pushed out of bounds. He is just a great athlete.
Yeah,
I mean,
number
this
3.
guy is
Well,
electric.
You can tell that 7-on-7 type field, Jeff, they have what's called scramble rules. So as soon as you get pressure on him, they break off their routes, and they do a great job trying to get to open spaces. And Thurry Gruenweg is going to be an all-state wide receiver for a reason, and he makes that catch and converts a first down.
Dropping back, looking for the end zone. Got a man, and I thought that was going to be picked off.
Oh,
but
my
instead,
gosh.
number 1 gets inside the 5 to the 3.
To Eric Tate.
And I mean, I thought
pick six that.
I thought he
folks.
had that one. Want to say hello to Joel Vestal, watching down in George West, Texas.
Want to say a special shout out as well to the Camp family. Jeff, we know that Pat and Beth are listening and watching tonight. Love you, miss you, and glad.
And there is a touchdown by the Tigers. Getting back on the board. That was complete to number 24, the tight end. Yeah, the Camps have been listening to football games for a long time.
Since they've been watching us play, which is a long, long time
They
ago.
probably didn't enjoy watching us play near as much as they like watching these boys.
I guarantee you
they're
that.
way more successful these days.
I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
Extra point left to come. 10:23 left to play in this game. 66-34 as the Tigers keep finding a way to cut the lead in half.
Yeah, his kick is up, and it is right down the middle of the uprights. So it is 66-35 now with 10:23 left to play. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages.
Timeout.
All right. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Prosper, Texas, where the Buckeyes have a long drive home tonight, but it'll be with many smiles on their face. 66-35 is the score with 10:23 left to play in the fourth quarter. And Buckeye receiving team coming out on the field, getting a lot on both sides of the ball, I think, a lot of sub players in to play. Obviously, over on the Tigers side, they want to get some seniors some playing time as this might be their last game. And on the Buckeyes side, we want to make sure we prevent injuries and those kind of things. So they're going to let this one, they're going to kick a little short pooch kick, and it is picked up by and a little extracurricular activity there in the middle of the field, but that was fielded by Pate, number 32. And we had the middle of the field wide open like we were going to let them do that. Did you notice how wide that was, that gap in the middle?
It was actually an invitation because you saw Caden Tennyson come in so that he could kind of scoop that up if needed. And a great play there made by the up back, and, of course, Aaron Bell coming in and enforcing some things and making sure that his guys don't get kind of abused on that play. Nevertheless, 9:42 and counting, 1st and 10 Buckeyes from their own 40-yard line.
All right, Buckeyes, here's the snap. Handoff, number 1, nowhere to go. And he falls forward just to get back to the line of scrimmage. I want to say hello to my good buddy Troy Murray and his wife Jimmy, who are watching the Buckeyes tonight in Vegas.
How about you, Troy, my brother from another mother?
In Vegas tonight.
If you can't be here in person, that's not a bad place to be.
Do not gamble. That's my advice. The house always wins, Troy. 3 receivers to the left side, 1 back in the backfield. Motion. And look at this little underhand pitch to number 7, Webb. They do a good job of reading that because that's been pretty effective this year.
Yeah, that's just to keep them honest, run play, pick up 5 yards, get the 3rd down and manageable. And with 9 minutes left to play in this game and counting, the Buckeyes just need to move the chains here.
Yeah, and you know Alan Metzel has his foot off the pedal now. He's trying to not – he don't want to run the score up.
You don't want to run the score up.
So he's going to try to do anything he can just to get first downs and get out of this game without racking the score up. He doesn't want to cross the 70 mark, I assure you. And he's going to do everything he can, I think, not to do that. That pass was intended for number 7, Webb. That's going to bring up 4th down, and the Buckeyes are going to punt again.
And the Buckeyes are going to try to not get this one blocked this time, as that is going to stop the clock with 8:39 remaining to play in this football game. It has been a great night for the Buckeyes, and you want to make sure that it ends on a good note, Jeff. You want to execute, you want to get defensively, you want to make sure that they're running the ball, you keep it in front of you, you tackle, and you get up real slow.
Well, and again, Metzel, just the ultimate gentleman, wants this score to be respectable, and he is going to high snap. Almost got a hand on it again. Nice bounce there, except it hit the back of one of the Buckeyes.
That's
I also want to give a shout out to my favorite chef, Roberto Lomeli, who moved here from California. His wife Cindy, and Roberto's like this really good cook, and he likes for me to taste his, taste test for him. And that's what happened to me. I was 140 pounds.
So it's Roberto's fault.
Yeah, it's Roberto's fault. I was really skinny when he moved here, and then look at me now.
Let me tell you, Roberto, there's a lot of people in Gilmer, Texas that would like to have you to blame. So why don't you text Jeff your cell phone number?
A real excuse. He's got a lasagna that he puts pepperoni in. It's ridiculous. It's awesome. One receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Here's a snap. Handoff, left side, up the middle. Brought down by number 54.
That's Hagler?
Hagler, who has had an outstanding year, and especially in the playoffs. It's like this defensive line and Bell. That front four has just hit a new gear in the playoffs. I'm so impressed with them. It's unbelievable how they have grown. Going to the air. Got a man open, and it's going to hit the ground. That just didn't have enough under it.
And that's the wheel route with Gruneweg, who was wide open there. Bird blew the coverage as they're just going to do that twist, and he is open as he can possibly be, but brings up 3rd down and 5 now, maybe 4 down territory. But the Buckeye defense, just find your man. I mean, lock down right now and find number 3. This may be a screen pass to number 3 coming out of the backfield.
All right, they're looking to the left side. They got a little man going for the first down, and he catches it, falls back forward just shy of the first down. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 1. And again, these Buckeyes have just executed. We talk about the hard-fought game, 4th and 1, excuse me. Hard-fought games all the way through the playoffs this year. We had no easy road. Usually we sit at the top of the game. First 1 or 2, 3 games are usually not that difficult. This year, not the case. We had to fight our way. We had to earn every game this year. Handoff up the middle. They pick up the first down. They're going to be right at they're going to get the first down. But we have had to fight. And you go back to the first of the year, Todd. We said this at the top of the show during pregame. Alan Metzel made the hardest schedule he possibly could. The first 5 games were either a 5A school or a Division 1 school, a bigger school, a higher population school. And the Buckeyes were faced with adversity for the first 6 games of the year, having to play Pleasant Grove in Game 6. And they are going to slam. Aaron Bell just slams number 12 Evans to the turf. It's going to be a loss of about 6 yards. But they had to fight their way through the whole first 5 games. Then the first game of district, obviously the tough game and loss against Pleasant Grove. And then every game in the playoff, Game 1, Game 2, Game 3. And 4, obviously, against Carthage. And then here we are in Game 5, and they are really peaking as a team at the right time. You just couldn't ask for better. And remember, this is an 11-3 team. This wasn't an undefeated team because of the adversity we took on early. And that ball is going to fall incomplete. But great job by our coaching staff this year. They made adjustments. The boys worked hard. 17th year in a row, Todd, that the Buckeyes have had to practice on Thanksgiving morning, and that is
phenomenal.
Got to be some kind of record.
Phenomenal. What's amazing, Jeff, is how many great programs that you have all kind of bunched up there between Carthage and Gilmer, and we talked about it.
Pleasant Grove,
with just small town football and how much it means.
Yeah, how about the year that some of these Division I groups have, and he caught a big pass across midfield out at the 45. How about the teams we played that are still in the playoff? You had Kilgore going up against Chapel Hill last week. Chapel Hill came out on top, still in it, picked to win the whole thing. Kilgore, one of the best teams I've ever seen them have. Lindale was tough this year. Paris, I was glad to get out of Paris. We had a rain out in Paris, and I was thrilled to get out of there.
Just to get out with the victory.
Yeah,
we're going to check the score very quickly on Chapel Hill here as we got a first down for Glen Rose inside Buckeye territory.
26 Chapel Hill.
So Chapel Hill is going to, it's a completed pass. And
nice pass out to the flat.
Drilled.
So Chapel Hill is, where is that score there? San Antonio, Davenport, Chapel Hill, 56-26, commanding lead over in the fourth quarter by Chapel Hill. And then you got Belleville commanding lead in the fourth quarter, 35-21 over Wimberley. So so far, it's looking like a matchup. What a nice pass. He just drops it. But what a great matchup that'll be. Belleville, it looks like, unless some miracle happens for Wimberley late in the fourth quarter, it's going to be Gilmer versus Belleville at Cowboy Stadium, at AT&T Stadium. And that'll be next Friday, and I believe the game is at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, the Buckeyes will be the visitors, and I can tell you, you're going to see a different team all in red when you see Belleville come on the field, folks. And the Buckeyes are going to have to be ready as we got a little back here.
Look at this guy scrambling for a touchdown, and he is going to be denied as he is drugged down at around the 5-yard line. I thought this guy was fixing to get him a touchdown. I was kind of rooting for him. I hate to say that, but this guy's a backup in the game and probably a senior.
Yeah, running hard, and that's one thing about Glen Rose. That small town pride.
Actually, I take it back. I don't want him to score. He's a freshman. So dumps it out to number 24, and he's going to get in the end zone for another score. And again, Alan Metzel, content to let these guys make this game respectable.
Yeah, lots of backups in the game, Jeff. That's no excuse because the Buckeye backups have to do a great job. But, with 66 points, you just kind of outmatch Glen Rose. Late points, as long as the clock runs, the Buckeyes are going to accept that. Of course, Tommy's not going to be happy in the slightest. But you got something to work on going into next week. Extra point left to come.
All right, here comes the snap, and the kick is good, and that is going to take them to 42. So the score with 5 minutes, 15 seconds remaining is 66-42. We want to thank all of our fans for listening tonight and texting in and writing in and supporting the Buckeyes. There's a lot of comments, obviously, on Facebook, and a lot of my favorite thing on Facebook last week was Wendy Alexander. They posted a picture of her, and she is pacing the room. You can just see it, and everybody under the caption said, "This was me too." And they were walking around praying, hands folded, just can't sit down. And it was a great video. If you haven't seen it, go out to Facebook, look it up. It is hilarious. And I think we were all doing that. We were doing that in the press box because it was so touch and go back and forth. But luckily, Buckeyes came on top. We also want to thank our sponsors for this entire year. Godarzi and Young taking the lead sponsorship position as they do every year, and all of our sponsors that have sponsored the Buckeyes all the way through to the state championship this year. Third time they will make an appearance in the state championship in 4 years. And as they say out where I'm from, that ain't bad.
That ain't bad at all, Jeff. And some unfinished business for these Buckeyes is they're going to line up for a onside kick here.
Yeah, again, you look at what they got down here, and that ball is going to just bounce out of bounds. Webb wisely lets it just roll out.
Very smart move by Webb. We'll take it where it goes out of bounds. 5:15 left to play in this contest. And for the Buckeyes, we may just, run the ball here and keep the clock moving. You'd like to see all subs in at this point. But for the Buckeyes, looking like it's going to be a matchup against the Belleville Brahmas. And, of course, it would not be the same, Jeff, if the Buckeyes weren't picked to be the underdogs there, of course, next week. And they will be, very much so. And Belleville will be picked to be the favorites. They'll be the home team, and the Buckeyes are going to have to show up and be the Buckeyes. The toughest game that they've had since Carthage. And
off to Will Henderson, right side. Henderson cuts up field,
See ya.
and another touchdown for the Buckeyes. The 10, the 5, and the end zone. That is the fourth or third?
The fourth.
Fourth touchdown for Will tonight, and that'll put his yardage somewhere around 260
A whole bunch.
in this game. I think you even said you thought he'd have 300 yards plus in this game. So I just want to point out you were wrong.
273.
He only had
273.
He only had. You said 300 though. He only had 273.
He only had 273.
So you don't know what you're talking about.
That's
You should
4
just keep your mouth
touchdowns.
shut. Buckeye extra point. You really did call this pretty well, Todd. I'm going to admit that.
Well, it's just.
This will be the only time I give you that credit.
I watched every play for Glen Rose. They're a tough team, but they're just a bad matchup with this Buckeyes in terms of the athleticism and the speed. You see it right there from Will Henderson. He just hits the Jets and goes another 62 yards in just a few seconds.
Extra point good there.
And let's not take anything away, Jeff, from the fact that this Glen Rose team lost 19 seniors, Jeff. And last year at this very night, they gave the Carthage Bulldogs, who eventually won the state championship against Wimberley, all they wanted. And this program is so close. And then you start the season a lot like Gilmer did, young, lots of sophomores playing. Jeff, all they do is get hot in district and then wind up running the table all the way back to the 5th round. They got a lot to be proud of, a lot to look forward to in Glen Rose. But for tonight, it's just a little too much firepower from the boys in orange and black. 73-42. These Buckeyes just want to run this clock and get this over with. 5:04. Get themselves ready for the 3rd state championship appearance in the last 4 years. And they're going to have to battle. I mean, the Bellevue Brahmas, Jeff, are the most physical and talented team that the Buckeyes will have seen since Pleasant Grove. It is on that level. When you see number 99, I mean, just if you don't want to depress yourself, don't go watch the film. He is a 2025 5-star commit defensive end. Wherever he is, we're going to run away from him. And the Buckeyes are going to have to win 4 quarters of a war. There are 4 quarters left to play in this season, but the Buckeyes have
Kickoff
the
down to the
chance.
24. Buckeyes on it pretty quickly, return back to the 32. You're exactly right, Todd. Continue. You're right about a 4 quarters of war. This is going to be one of the hardest games they're going to have all year.
Yeah, and you'd think so. It's a state championship game. I mean, the Buckeyes kind of make it look easy tonight and almost lackadaisical at some points. But again, from a matchup standpoint, it is going to be a whole nother ball game next week against Belleville. They're the regional champions of Region 4. I almost can't pick a preferred opponent between Wimberley and Belleville. I guess if you look at Belleville, you know what they're going to do offensively. We need to stop them, and then we need to score. We're going to have to do all the old Jasper 2004 where we're going to have to outscore them.
Yeah, it will be a war as the Buckeyes all over the attempted run there by the Tigers. Deidre Camp gave us a shout out, and she is mocking us for both our age and some of the bloopers that we have had in the last few years. I want to point out that one was by Matt, and I'll never forget that one because I thought we would get removed from the air, and I miss him every day. And the other one was on you, Todd. So the two she pointed out, I guess she hasn't listened carefully because I've had a bunch myself over the last 22 years.
She would certainly know.
Rolling out, throwing across the field, picked off. Number 26 for the Buckeyes on the interception. That is McDonald, Devin McDonald on the interception for the Buckeyes, and Buckeyes have great field position. 4:13 left to play in the game. We lead 73-42. And Joe Dodd did pick the Buckeyes to win by 31.
Yeah, and Joe Dodd's over here saying, I want 80. I want 80.
So he doesn't want them to score right here because he wants to be right. So
hey, I'll take that right. I will take that. I will take it for sure. As the Buckeyes.
This is the first time I've seen Joe smile through a game in a long time.
It's been a while. Well, hey, there's one more week. Don't give up on Joe yet.
We don't want to sit by him. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Handoff, left side big, a lot of room to run.
1 cut.
And look
touchdown.
At this, and that's a touchdown by Smith. Wow. And Joe was wrong. I just want to point that out. Both of you guys were wrong tonight.
Well, there's going to be your 80 points.
Oh my gosh, this is not what Alan Metzel wants.
No,
I'm telling you,
no.
It's not at all what he wants because this is going to be. He may tell him to shank it here. I mean, I don't know. Just to stay out of 80. Seriously.
Well, you look back at that big victory several decades ago where the Buckeyes beat the Tatum Eagles and scored 82 points. And you know,
I never minded beating Tatum by 80 points.
Yeah, I tell you what, those were some wars there with Coach Andy Evans and the Eagles, and we do shank that.
Well, we put in number 84 to kick that one, and that is Miguel Casanata. I don't think he's ever tried in his life. He's probably like a lineman, and they said, please go in there and don't make this.
79-42 as Joe Dodd gives us what for not putting 80 on the board. But 4:04 left to play in this game, Jeff, and it cannot go by fast enough. Once again, the Buckeyes got a week ahead of them. It is about 4 quarters. The season comes down to basically, if you think about it, Jeff, if the Buckeyes are very fortunate, they've got about 8 to 9 possessions left. And what you'll see as a pregame kind of a preview against Belleville, they are big, they are strong. Number 99 is a 5-star recruit. He's 6'5", 325 pounds. He moves like a cat. He runs about a 4.8 40, and he's just a junior.
Now within 7.
Oh, Wimberley's come back to within 7.
Go Wimberley.
So, yeah.
let's hope for overtime.
See, quit counting chickens before they're hatched.
I'm telling you, I will take either way. But for the Buckeyes, how exciting is it to punch your ticket to AT&T Stadium 3 out of the last 4 years, Jeff? That's remarkable.
That is fantastic. My son actually got to be on that back-to-back state championship appearance. Didn't get to come away with a ring out of it. I'm hoping these boys get to. But the fact that Alan Metzel, who is one of the greatest guys I know, I mean, if you said who's one of the best people you've ever met, Alan Metzel is. If he's not at the top of my list, he's in the top 3.
Yeah, if he's not in your top 3, you just don't know.
It's
him.
like Alan, Mother Teresa. I mean, he is really that great a guy, and I'm happy for him. And he loves these boys, and the whole coaching staff does. And they hand off at the middle, and he just got, leveled. The freshmen coming through there just got hammered. But these coaches spend so much time and energy preparing. They work every weekend. By the way, we feed them during playoffs, so they get real fat. My wife cooked for them one day this week. A lot of ladies in the community cook for them. So if you want to volunteer,
hundreds of hours in front of the computer screen.
If you want to, they do. And if you want to volunteer to cook for them this week, I think Wednesday Alexander maybe puts that together. I'm not sure, but. They live up there. I mean, literally this week, they will go up there tomorrow morning. They'll start watching film. They'll do grading. They'll start watching film on the next team. They'll start setting their strategies. They'll work all day Sunday. They'll work all day, every day next week. They're going to put in over 100 hours this next week, and I'm not exaggerating. They work so hard trying to get these kids a ring. And I hope it happens for them because this is a great coaching staff and one of the best group of kids we've ever seen.
Yeah, just so all you Buckeye fans out there know, nobody's going to give us a chance. Everybody's going to tell you how big and bad Belleville is, and yes, they are. But I can tell you, at the end of the day, these Buckeyes have the firepower and have a puncher's chance, let's say that. And the fact that Belleville is pretty much a one-dimensional offense in terms of what they do very well, which is the slot T. They swear by it. Now, these Buckeyes, remember, historically, you even go back to Liberty Hill. That's the kind of offense that you're going to see if you remember that game.
Yeah, I don't like that game. I never liked that game.
Yeah, but
quarterback rolling to his right side, looking for somebody to pass to, throws it downfield. It's tipped and intercepted by the Buckeyes. With 2 minutes and 17 seconds, you're going to watch the Buckeyes just eat the clock here. Number 15 on
easily.
Micah? That was his second one of the night, if I'm not mistaken.
Two picks on the night.
I want to say hello to Justin Vestal watching in Carlsbad, New Mexico. And he writes in and says, 2009 state championship team and a 2013 Carthage Slaughter. That's his claim to fame. I think that's on the back of his business card.
Hey,
probably.
if you had a teammate named Stump Godfrey, you were probably got bragging rights for the rest of your life. That is what it's going to come down to, Jeff. Is the Big G is going to reappear in AT&T Stadium, and we're going to have our work cut out for us. These young Buckeyes, their season's going to come down to 4 quarters. And Jeff, you said it so well. I'm going to quote you on it 100 times this week. It's time to be perfect. And if the Buckeyes are perfect, this is the good news. the Buckeyes have a absolutely great chance to walk out of AT&T Stadium a week from today as the 2023 state champions of 4A Division II. Who would have thunk it? Well, every coach down in the field house from the beginning of the semester would have thunk it. That's what they
started back, before August, making their plan and working these guys. These young men work out year round. They never stop. They go to the weight room. They lift during the summer on their own, and they come up to the gym. They run. They go take classes and seminars, for different positions. They just have earned this, and I'm so happy for them. They weren't ever picked, respected by the polls throughout the year. Never were picked
not to be top 10.
To be, and they probably won't be this week. They're going to be picked number 2.
Top 10.
So they have really proven to everybody who they are.
You get down for 3 out of the last 4 years to say we're in the top 2 in the state. And more importantly, all you can ask for in life, Jeff, is an opportunity. And these Buckeyes have an opportunity to go win a state championship as they take a knee. And this is going to be about a 7-second differentiator as the Gatorade over there, led by Will Henderson, douses Coach Metzel, who is saying, I love you guys, but we're not done.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got his eyes on the prize, folks, and so should Buckeye Nation. Now, let me tell you something, folks, with next week, if you're still with us with 25 seconds left to play, we are not going to be broadcasting. It's going to be live on Bally's. It's going to be carried live. You will be able to turn on the e-text and listen to our commentary or GilmerBuckeyes.com. We will carry live audio thanks to Eric Conitz. But we need every Buckeye fan available at AT&T Stadium, Jeff, because at the end of the day, it is going to take an army to take down these Belleville Brahmas. And they got a great nickname because when you see them, I don't know how many rodeos, Jeff, that you've been to in your stellar career as a let's just put it this way, a rodeo expert.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many guys you've seen that has to tackle a Brahma bull, but this is pretty much going to be the task that is before these Buckeyes. They've got to stop the slot T. They're going to be preparing for it all week. They've got to be disciplined. They've got to execute on offense, and they got to put 4 quarters together. And that's going to be, the name of the game. And the Buckeyes have a chance once again to go down to Jerry's World and come back state champions, and that's a special opportunity.
Third appearance in 4 years. That is so awesome. I'm so happy for the coaching staff and these players. They deserve it, and I do hope they come back with a ring this time. We're not sure if we're going to be on YouTube next week or not. We're definitely on e-text. We're definitely on GilmerBuckeyes.com, our commentary for next week. And great punt there by a great punter. And that is the end of the game. And round 5 is in the books. Gilmer Buckeyes are your champions. 79-42, the final score. And next week, do we have a final score on Belleville Wimberley? Let's look at that right quick. Let's see if we can see if they've got to be almost finished.
I'm seeing Wimberley, Belleville tied up at 35.
They are tied at 35.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
That is unbelievable. They were down 28-14. They have fought their way back. We've been thinking, okay, get ready for the Brahmas. Todd, you got to stop calling it. Every time you start calling it, the momentum shifts the other way.
Let me just say
I'm going to throw you out this window.
I'm okay with that at this point. If Wimberley comes back, I'm not saying I'd rather play Wimberley. I'm just saying the longer that they stay tied, the better it is for us. Buckeyes win 79-42. Punch their ticket once again to AT&T. The Gilmer Buckeyes, regional and now state semifinal champs, 4A Division II, over the Glen Rose Tigers. Congratulations to them on a wonderful season. They just ran into a buzzsaw tonight. Buckeye Nation, 3 o'clock Friday. Put all your appointments on hold. Cancel everything. Get yourself to Jerry's World and yell for these Buckeyes. We need every member of the Buckeye Army going into next week to be there to urge on our Buckeyes to try to go get this ring. It is within our grasp, but it's going to take us all. For myself, Todd Robinson, the voice of the Buckeyes, Jeff Rash, our incredible crew here led by Eric Conitz in broadcasting, all of our sponsors, we want to say thank you. Congratulations to these Buckeyes, and the last bit of the mountain left to climb next week. State championship game, 3 o'clock, Jerry's World. Once again, Buckeyes win, and we will see you next week for all the marbles.